with Ahmad Hardy. I will happily inform you of that on the show, but we're not going to do a bunch of speculative talk about will he play football? If so, when will he be ready? I'm not doing any of that today.
We were at the halfway mark yesterday, 111 days past the college football season, 111 days to the college football season.
Oh!
So that was the magic number this weekend.
Do you have that marked on your calendar? Or?
No.
I'm just trying to figure out why you knew that.
No, John and I keep track of it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if maybe you posted it and then you saw it later, so that's good to know. Good to know, Bink. Just wanted to make sure that all was well in your world and that we were figuring it out at least on that end. So, if you want to do it again, we're live up and streaming. Let's talk a little Royals baseball, Bink. On Friday, you had said you thought the Royals were going to get the sweep of the Tigers. And look, oh, so close. Yet, not quite there. As you can imagine, we ended up coming up short of that because of the fact that the Royals ended up losing that game last night. Sunday Night Baseball came up short in a game in which they trailed 3-0, made it back 3-3, and then, obviously came up totally short by the time it was done. I will say, this was, by all measure, but not by all measure, a decent homestand, but not quite as good as I was hoping for. Like, I don't want to pretend to you, Bink, that this was like, oh, this homestand did not go well. 4-3 against two teams ahead of you in the division. I'll take that.
Yeah, nice little comeback.
Yeah,
sure you can still do it.
I'll take that 99.999% of the time. Kyle Isbell with the game-winning hit on Friday night, as you mentioned. Bobby Wood Jr.'s inside the park home run on Saturday. But yesterday's game, the games they lose all feel the same. They don't get enough middle-of-the-order production, and then what happens is they run into little things on the bases, and what's been a common thread this season, which is how much longer can you keep letting Noah Cameron make starts if he's going to exit the game having almost cost you the game? There is a real problem there, but now with Cole Reagan's hurt, they don't have much of a choice. So, the initial thought from yesterday's game is Noah Cameron needs to be better and needs to be better in a hurry. But the overall opinion of the homestand is I'm okay. 4-3 against the two teams ahead of the division, game and a half back in the Central. The Central's still a mess. I can live with that.
Well, it's like Noah Cameron with the expectations last year, because the expectations were clearly in a good place. This year, you got to remember, he's the in-rotation guy. So, yes, you expect him to be better than he is at this point, because he was great last year when he came up and was a big fixture in this rotation. But sometimes you have to remind yourself, is the rotation guy with Noah Cameron, but I really thought yesterday was going to be his day. Yeah, you've struggled this year. You haven't been the same as last year. You had 10 days where you had to have a start scratched in between to come out, shut the door on the Detroit Tigers, get the sweep, take it off.
Chicago's a team that they've certainly gotten the better of the last couple of years. So I like that. And we'll assume that maybe that will continue, although Chicago's, I would say, quite a bit saltier.
Well, when they've had their success against the Royals, it's been at home. Because they went, 24 straight games they lost to Kauffman Stadium. Last year, the Royals, 10-3 against the White Sox. Year before, 12-1. They have beaten them up, but this is a different White Sox team. Murakami has been outstanding for the White Sox this year, and Vargas hitting home runs all over the place. I mean, this is a different White Sox team. You started seeing it a little bit last year. The pitching was better than it was the year before. But the White Sox are gradually becoming a better team. But the good news is, as bad as this division is, which it is, the Twins are terrible, and they're 2.5 games back from first place. Yeah. It shows you everybody's kind of jumbled in. The NL Central, by the way, in the National League, your counterpart there, every team is at least 3 games over 500. Much different situation than the AL Central.
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly could be in a worse division. We understand that. J.J. Piccolo acknowledged that before the season, Bink. I mean, let's just be real here. The part of the reason the Royals should have an expectation and can have an expectation to compete regularly is because they play in a division full of like-minded teams. There is only one team in the entire division with a positive run differential, and they're +4. How about this? -4, -14, +4, -14, -12. They're the same, Bink. Nobody's different. They're all stuck in one big wash. Hell, I genuinely think this might be the year that 85 wins gets the Central. That might be enough this season. I don't see anybody being so good that it's going to be in close competition there. I'm trying not to be, because, again, once they started 2-0 at the homestand, 5-2 was a reasonable request, expectation, hope, dream, whatever you want to call it, that maybe they would have the opportunity in order to do it and compete at that level. And so I don't think it would have been crazy to say that, but I'm not if you told me going into it that they'd finished 4-3, I would have been okay. So, like, that is always kind of the missing element. And they had to come from behind on Friday. And yesterday, I thought maybe they had a chance to do that again and come from behind, but they ran into some issues late in the game because, again, Noah Cameron only went 4 innings, so they had to backfill with bullpen guys. And their bullpen's not deep enough to just trust them to go 5 shutout innings and hope that they have it all together that entire time. That's just unrealistic.
We don't call for sweeps, but this is a situation where the Royals at home, the Royals, by the way, in the division have the worst road record. So they've been doing their damage at home. 13 wins at home. They have more wins at home than anybody else in the AL Central. So if they were going to get the sweep, it was prime there. It started Friday night. When you have that comeback, you get that win, things start rolling. Saturday to look good. Sunday to be able to come back in that game. Really, really thought. And again, you don't cry about not getting a sweep, but 2 out of 3 is what you want. But legitimately, the Royals are right there because the Tigers are not good. Despite that win, they're still 3 games under 500.
I see the text line from the 620. I hate to fall on deaf ears, but I hate that I can't watch all the Royals games unless I have a dozen streaming services. I get it. That issue with it, because people were upset because on Friday night, the game was on Peacock. It was also, though, like, I just caught it on YouTube TV. Now, if you have Hulu Live or some other version or just don't have YouTube TV, like, that part of it just kind of changed the math a little bit where you, like, I get it. You got to have multiple. This is every sport that isn't the NFL.
Well, Apple's
like,
the same way. If it's on Apple, you can't get it unless you have Apple. And so the Royals have had the Apple game. They've had the Peacock games. And I get it. People have actually spent money, to watch this.
Yeah, and you spent Royals TV money, and now you don't get to watch the game. I get it. It's
and then the discount, the sale that they have, what is it, 59 or 49 right now? The package deal went way down.
Oh, it went to $44.99.
44. But that went across the board. That was MLB with all the teams that are doing their services. So it wasn't just the Royals; it was all the major league teams.
No, I get it, and look, I get the frustration. I'm not even saying that's not the case because you miss last night's game because it's on NBC.
Well, you wish it was on NBC.
It was on NBC Sports Network on my YouTube channel. I didn't at first. I was like, am I going to have to sign up for a trial? Am I going to have to? I'll just listen to it on the radio.
You watched on the NBC Sports channel. You didn't watch on Peacock.
Correct. I don't have Peacock. I don't even have the app.
Big. That's because YouTube TV somehow, I don't know how, and I'm not questioning it because you can. But NBC Sports Network, if there's like a soccer game, if there's games on Peacock, basketball games that are late that are on Peacock, they're on YouTube TV now as well because the NBC Sports Network kind of had a.
Wasn't YouTube one of the few streamers that have NBC Sports Network?
Something like
that. I think that's really relevant, but the main ones don't have it still.
Yeah, I think that channel just recently made a comeback.
They've got Peacock and stuff. Like Spectrum doesn't have that, but they give you Peacock.
Yeah.
Text line's being funny about the video stream, Drew. Someone says over on YouTube, not sure I'm ready for Cody in 4K, although he did get his new glasses. So
that's right. He had new glasses.
In fact, you guys didn't even notice because this is how you're used to me looking.
No, I did notice, and I was going to ask, but I didn't know if it was actually worth the question because I feel like the answer would be, it feels like it normally did. Yeah. Have glasses, I guess. How much of a difference was it when you first got them and put them back on again? This is it.
For the first 30 minutes, it felt a little bit weird. But then right after that, no, I'm back.
You're going to find your other ones, right? You're going to end up stepping on.
I hope so. They'll be my backup glasses. I was going to wait like a month to order backup ones in case those eventually show up.
You still haven't found the original one?
No. And boy, did I look. So I don't know. Bink's right. I haven't gone out to do yard work since then. So maybe if I do it later.
Or it'll be chopped up in your mower.
Yeah, maybe. And that'll suck, but at least, we'll get some version of it outside of it. But yeah, it's just that part of it's small, and we can make do with it. Again, no Alex today. It's me and Jay Binkley.
I was going to say,
Drew Nixon is back. What were you saying?
Gold is out, yeah.
Look, this is Alex might be listening. So if he can, he can refute this on Tuesday or Wednesday, wherever he came back. I want to be on record, Drew, that I said from the beginning he was never making it back from Monday's show.
Yep.
He was never making it back from Monday's show.
That
was a delusion.
Yep.
And also a delusion he didn't have to live. Why would you want to be back at work 4 days having facial surgery?
He's a gamer.
No, but
they like that.
Who needs to be a gamer? It's radio. We're not out there for a playoff game against the Colts.
Hey,
it's radio.
It's big week. It's schedule release week.
Gold should put that in the Twitter profile or
gamer
or in like the Hinge profile, whatever. It's quote unquote. He's a gamer. From Jay Binkley. Yeah. He's a gamer.
Likes to work.
Yeah. It's just like
I will say I'm back post getting throttled by the sun, which we'll get to at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, are you all right? You look pink, dude.
Dude, it is. Do we have a producer solo shot? I could my ankles. I burned the top of my feet and my ankles. Ankles are a little swollen.
How
still.
did that get the most sunburn?
The ankles are swollen. The feet are better. Aloe vera has really been helpful. The ankles are still swollen around my lower legs too. My stomach. I put sunscreen on multiple times. I think it was the difference in the Florida sun versus the Kansas City sun. Also, I was also already. I'm pasty. I haven't been out to tan yet very often.
Okay.
So the sun was probably already getting to my skin anyways. But my stomach is bad. Just as bad. Hurts taking a shower. Putting on clothes. You
look like you were scratching. You look like you were scratching yourself earlier. Like you look like you were like you couldn't like bear to wear your shirt.
Oh yeah,
you were like trying to lift your shirt.
Yeah,
off.
I was lifting the shirt to air out the It's not this shirt's not bad. Sleeping sucks.
True. Some of this
Falling
is
asleep
like
is tough.
Dude, like this is like me losing the glasses in a way, which is when that stuff happens and you're a full-grown adult. Like you know how sunscreen works, and then you're in Florida in the sun. Those are the times when you're like, "Am I an idiot?" Like I feel that way. Like and I lost my glasses. Like I'm 41. I can't lose my glasses.
The answer for me is yes.
And
I
you're
am
like-
an idiot for what I did.
Did you just not put it on? Did you not put on enough? Did you not reapply? What took place?
I didn't reapply, and I probably missed a couple spots, I guess, as well. It was weird. So my parents said they had sunscreen. I'm not blaming them at all in any way, shape, or form. It was the lotion sunscreen. It wasn't the spray.
Okay.
I don't think that helped.
The lotion's better.
No, but you missed spots. Like there's
Yeah, maybe.
So on my arm is burned except for this one little line where I think I must have actually put sunscreen on more than anywhere else. I don't know. I'm burned badly though. But in fairness, this gets the burn out of the way. It's going to suck for the next 2 days, and then we're all the way back, and hopefully the tan can be there, and I didn't suffer any skin damage.
You should have taped up a Wisconsin logo on your arm to get a burn around it.
Could have had like a fake tattoo for a little bit.
That would have been kind of funny.
Just as a reminder, this year we've partnered with KCUC, who's donating $50 to Prostate Cancer Foundation for every home run the boys in blue hit this season. 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives at KCUC, Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. You see the best in KC. Scheduled today at kcuc.com.
Someone said it's a good thing that Gold doesn't put he's a gamer on the dating apps.
No, they don't like that?
Someone said trust them on this. It doesn't work.
What? Someone that holds down a job and goes all the time? Is that bad?
It's not bad, Bink. When we talked about this with you, I think you should have learned a life lesson from you. Bink was coming in here days after hernia surgery.
The next day.
Blind from LASIK. High on drugs, saying F-bombs. These are not good things to aspire to, Bink.
The blind from LASIK is insanity to me. I don't know
came
how.
in the
I don't
same
know how
day.
he did
Here's
that.
the thing. I couldn't see the screen. My co-host that day was gone. Henry Lake was gone. That was back in the day shift days. He was gone. I literally
Couldn't Ryan just do the show? Me?
I did Dirty
Anyone?
Vision at 8 a.m.
Literally anyone, it sounds like.
But you know
should have
what?
done
It
the
was
show.
great for the read, right? Because they said I did the LASIK surgery, showed up to work the same day, which I literally did. Had the LASIK surgery at 8, was in here for the show at 10. The hernia surgery,
That's
your next
insane.
day.
I want to be on record.
I was high on pain pills, but they still let me work anyway because I wanted to. I guess legally they have to.
I will, for the life of me, be the opposite of this. Like, hey, Cody, we think you need 4 days. It's fine. I'll take 6. Like, Cody, we think you might need a week. I'll take 2.
Yeah.
Like, are you crazy? Like, I don't feel some, like, initial rush. Like, the doctors offered to let me stay home longer from the hernia. They were like, we're not sure if you should go back. It's probably okay, but, you know, like, only if you're ready to go back. And I even thought about that, and I was gone for a full week. So, like, and it wasn't surgery on my face. So, like, you know, you just got to be careful with it. Let's talk a little bit about the Chiefs, though, before we get back into the Royals a little bit later and their outfield production. Plus, we got a few leaks and news and notes out about the NFL schedule and what's going on there as well.
It's a big week, man.
But on Friday, right as we were wrapping up the show, there was a report that the Chiefs were interested in signing Jawan Jennings. And really, I don't want to talk about whether or not they should have signed Jawan Jennings. We're past that. That happened on Friday. What I am curious about is, because they were interested in spending money, really 2 things. Do you think the Chiefs are making one more big move this offseason? Cameron Jordan or bigger, right? Like at least of that comp. And if so, what do we think their plan is for, and what the long-term plan, what do we think their plan is, Bink, for restructuring that money? Do we still think they're willing to move Chris Jones' money around, move George Karlaftis' money around, move Noah Gray's money around? Is there a player on the team right now you're willing to move the money around in order to make that final signing? Because that would have been needed for Jawan Jennings. They don't even have enough to sign their draft picks now.
Jones would probably be the easiest.
I know, but that means Jones can't go anywhere. So, like, you got to be okay with that. Are you okay with that? Team's got to be okay with it.
At this point, I mean, why not? Just keep doing your thing, Chris Jones. But the bottom line is, they've been interested in receivers. Because even Veach has said, hey, we've talked to all their agents. Do I think they're really interested in Jawan Jennings? I do. The problem is, that money he's getting is kind of in line with what we thought he would get. He wanted $22 million when free agency began. That's why I wouldn't sign during the free agency buzz back when it first started, before the draft, where everybody's going out when the Chiefs got Ken Walker that came in here. And Jawan Jennings was still there, and everybody's like, what's he still doing there as a free agent? Why didn't he sign? Because he wanted like a 3-year deal, $22 million a year. And he ended up signing a 1 year. I thought it would be 1 year, $15 million, something like that. But it's 1 year, 13 with incentives. That's definitely affordable for the Chiefs to have. So I am a little bit surprised, but it does show their interest in getting a veteran receiver here in Kansas City. Could it end up being Tyreek Hill by the trade deadline? There remains a possibility. Do I think they're interested in a veteran wide receiver? 100%. I think Jennings, I always thought he would have kind of fit in what the Chiefs do. He's a seventh-round pick. He's 29 years old. You're not going to have him very long, but having him here for at least this year as security, because it would have been nice last year. I, of course, was the big Keenan Allen guy last year. But would it have been nice to have at least somebody there for depth with the injuries and suspensions you were dealing with? Yes.
But this year they don't have, they're not dealing with injuries and suspensions this year.
Yet.
Oh, look, yet is fair. But last year going into it, they knew they were going to lose Rashee Rice for some amount of time. They didn't know they were going to lose Hollywood Brown. They didn't know they were going to lose Xavier Worthy. I guess that is part of the question, too, which is, are you already in the camp of Xavier Worthy will eventually miss time? Or do we just not think that's the case, Do you have some faith that Xavier Worthy can or will stay healthy this season? Because that's the other part, is that I don't know whether or not I trust that or not. I think there's a huge part of me that questions that that'll be the case.
Has been injuries. And the suspensions, you can't do anything about that. You just hope your players stay out of trouble and don't get that. But this has been an issue the last 2 years. And last year was a situation where they kind of neglected it, to be honest with you, because their only draft pick was Jalen Royals, barely saw the field, didn't do anything for the Chiefs last year. Your Rice was out for 6 games, missed, of course, the games when they shut him down there at the end of the year, which really didn't matter at that point because you're playing for draft positioning at that point anyway. Xavier Worthy hurt game 1, play 3. When he ran into Kelsey's gone for 3 games. This is all stuff that happened in the year before. It's just as bad or worse when Hollywood Brown goes down the preseason. And, of course, Rashee Rice gets hurt in game 4 for the rest of the year. So they've dealt with this problem the last 2 years. They just really haven't done a solution with it. This year, the only solution, of course, is a new coach, Shadow Shea.
Yeah, look.
That's really, they're only because it's the same group.
I know we're going to get into that, too, here in just a little bit, but you're not wrong in that case. I guess the part of it is, I do kind of expect him still to make one move. Mac was mentioning it. I think he was talking about it a little bit in between breaks with us a little bit, and he's like, nah, I think they're done. I think the big moves are done, and they're just going to trust the whole youth movement, and that very well might be true. But this is at least the 3rd or 4th rumor of Chiefs try to sign slightly larger veteran addition. They weren't even in the mix for Mike Dana, seemingly. And look, Dana stunk last year. I'm not bummed Mike Dana's not coming back to town. I like him as a person. He was a perfectly fine, maybe slightly underrated player for the first 4 years of his career, Bink, because you need guys who can play inside and out, get 5 sacks a season, and just kind of not be a problem. But the last 2 years, he's been bad. And last year, one of the worst statistical defensive linemen in the league. So I still feel like there's a hidden move coming. But I was just trying to think about possible restructures, and it feels like it's Chris Jones or nothing. And I just don't know if they're going to want to take that chance. And part of me thinks they won't want to take that chance for the obvious reason, which is they're not going to want to reset the contract as they continue to do this this revamp of the defensive line. They've paid and drafted Karlaftis. They drafted Gelati and Omar Norman Lott. They took 2 more defensive linemen in the draft just this year, Bink. And so they continue to go down this road of, oh, here's Peter Woods and here's another. And they're stacking and stacking and stacking, right? And so there's a part of you that wonders, well, maybe their long-term plan is we better find a solution for Chris Jones because we don't want to keep kicking his can down the road. And the truth is, if the choice were sign an additional free agent like Cam Jordan and have to restructure Chris Jones, or leave Chris Jones' contract alone and miss out on Cam Jordan, I'd probably choose the first one. I would probably choose, or the second one. I'd probably just say, you know what, leave Chris Jones' contract alone and let's just see what happens.
Well, at this point, though, would you rather, if they do sign someone, you'd rather be an offensive player at this point, or do you just not care?
No, offensive player. Let's not forget Jerick McKinnon when he signed with the
because
Chiefs.
of what they did in the draft at this point.
When he came back to Chiefs in 22, he was signed on June 14th. It wasn't like an April move, wasn't a May move. It was a June move. They got there, they went through OTAs. They're like, you know what? We really need that extra running back. We really need Jerick McKinnon to come back. So on June 14th that year of 2022, he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs will be through the OTA process at that point, and we'll see if they get to the point and realize, hey, we do need to bring another receiver. Speaking of old receivers, I saw Justin Ross, former Kansas City Chief with the Birmingham Stallions.
You used to owe $1 if you mentioned his name on this show.
Oh, is that still $1?
No, I think you're okay now.
Okay.
We used to have a penalty that you owed $1 if you mentioned Justin Ross on this show. He's with the Birmingham who?
Stallions.
You went out of your way to mention Justin Ross, who's in the UFL now?
Well, it's former Chiefs receiver that they love.
Yeah.
Chiefs loved Justin Ross.
We had a.
He's got 20 catches, 322 yards, 15.6 per, a couple touchdowns.
Why do you have his whole stat line pulled up?
Bink's
I don't
been
have it
grinding
up.
the
I had
tape
it up
on
earlier.
the UFL, Cody. You already know this. I'm sure of everybody at the station, Bink is definitely the one who would watch UFL football.
Are you watching UFL?
I didn't watch much of it. It was just towards the end that Dallas and Birmingham were going back and forth. So it's like, you know what, it was Saturday night to sit there and watch it.
I just don't think any of these leagues are ever. The NFL's too powerful now. This isn't like the old NFL, AFL days, and they would somehow find a way to do it. I don't know anything about any of these.
Well, the schedule release is going to dominate everything this week.
Yeah.
Any sport going. With the NBA and NHL playoffs, it's still the schedule release will dominate headlines.
It will be bigger than probably like day-to-day talk of NBA nationally. Even though they're in the playoffs, or day-to-day talk of the NHL nationally, even though they're in the playoffs. So
no, it will.
You're saying, Bink, you're going to have the schedule release on TV over the NHL or NBA playoffs?
No, I watched the playoff. I'm just saying it'll be a bigger talking point.
Oh, 100%.
Especially the games are starting to leak out. We'll get to that in just a minute. But another game for Sunday Night Football was leaked out today. There'll be different network leaks up until the 14th when everything is kind of finalized on who you're playing. People are worried is it going to be Netflix, going to be YouTube, where are these games going to go up? But I will tell you, Fox stepped up. So your antenna with Fox will still get a lot of games.
At least some games, yeah.
Yeah, including the first ever triple header that they'll have this year.
Let's talk about that next. There are some leaks out as it relates to the schedule, plus some of the things we're hoping for. We'll do that, plus what confidence level do we have in the Royals outfield continuing this current streak? We'll do that next.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
I hope you are sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and is 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you're a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone. 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
You know how avoiding eye contact with people when your brake screech makes it less awkward? It doesn't. But you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
This is the Game of the Week Report, brought to you by Hyundai.
We have a full slate of baseball games scheduled for Monday night as the season continues to heat up. Atlanta will take on Miami, Houston will visit the Twin Cities, and Colorado will host Texas. We'll also see San Francisco out in Arizona, San Diego hosts Los Angeles, and Chicago takes on Seattle.
The Game of the Week Report is brought to you by the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Learn how it's so much more than just another SUV at HyundaiUSA.com.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is just driving the kids to soccer practice. Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space.
Come on, guys. Mill cleats on a seat.
Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Need a new suit? This week only, Peter's Clothiers is taking half off all Jack Henry suits. Choose from a selection of colors, styles, and sizes at Peter's Clothiers. But hurry, this sale ends soon. Half off Jack Henry suits only at Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line Road.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, Cody Tabb, Jay Binkley with you, filling in for Alex. For at least today, maybe tomorrow as well. We'll see how things go. We are back up on the video stream after a couple of days off. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. We understand there's a little bit of modulation in the audio. We are working to remedy that. I have not yet remedied that, so we'll see. whether or not we get that fully taken care of. It's a process as we switch ourselves over to 4K streaming video, Bink. You're in crystal clear 4K today.
But it's still actually on the radios.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem. This is a radio station, and it's on the radio and with the app.
Yeah. We are, unlike the people who are complaining about the Royals, you can always get 96.5 The Fan for free.
Yep.
On the Odyssey app.
You know exactly
on
where
the
it is.
dial.
You know where it is.
Right here on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Free.
Apple TV doesn't come in and run things.
No, we don't do a Thursday show. Will not be on Peacock.
Yeah.
It is always available in the same location.
Eventually it might be. Who knows?
And for the same low price. Now I say that now, and then someday Odyssey Plus will exist, like Kling used to joke about, and then we'll be stuck in a totally different spot. We'll worry about that at least a little bit later, as we'll talk Royals baseball coming up in about 10 minutes from now. But Bink, you'd mentioned it, the NFL schedule release coming up this Thursday. So that means the leagues have begun. And as the leagues have begun, we really know, so far, I would say 3 major things other than the halves of the international slate that we know. So we'll leave it to that at the moment, which is there's 3 Christmas Day games. There's 2 Black Friday games. We think they're going to stick a game on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and there's some rumor that that could be the Chiefs. We also know that Fox will host the first ever NFL tripleheader. They bid and got the Munich game. They'll have a noon game and a 3:25. Or no, So they'll have the first NFL tripleheader, and then the first Sunday Night Football game will be Giants and Cowboys. I'll be honest.
That was the leak for the day.
That's the most disappointing thing of the leaks for the day. Really? But I haven't watched enough Cowboys, Giants on Sunday Night Football. I couldn't get a little something fresh, juicy.
Or how about
not bad, I guess.
How about the opening game could be the Seahawks and the Cardinals? A team that'll be picking probably first on the clock.
There's a rumor it's Seahawks Cardinals. That's ass. Wait,
I
you're
know.
gonna make me watch the Cardinals.
Yeah, I've seen that rumor.
You're gonna make me watch. By the way, that's mean to the Seahawks, if anything. Let alone the consumer.
It's Banner Day and they get a win.
Banner Day, and they got to face Jacoby Brissett
and Jeremiah Love.
I mean, I guess that's the only perk is that you get to see.
But here's the thing: if you're going to play crap teams on national TV, you do it early, before they're buried. You don't want to play them when they're 0-8 or 1-7. You want to get them when they're 0-0.
But not on that doesn't even make me want to watch the first NFL game.
It's not. It's if it was Mendoza, like the Raiders and Cardinals are probably not going to be that great this year. We think obviously because they picked where they did. Now maybe the Raiders are, but it's the fact that I think I think Cody's right. It's Jacoby Brissett. We don't want. It's Jacoby Brissett and Sam Darnold. It's not. It's not an appealing.
I get it. I'm just saying what the rumors are, Drew and Cody. I'm just saying what the rumors are. But the thing is, you got to remember this is why you play bad teams early. You remember what happened last year?
Not game one. We're supposed to get heavy hitters game one. We'd settled into like 2 powerhouses opening up the season in a show of force.
At least the Giants and Cowboys hate each other. At least there's that.
At least it's a rival. Do you remember what happened last year? And they've had a great offseason, the Giants have. Do you remember what happened last year in week 1? The Raiders beat the Patriots in New England. Now, New England goes to Super Bowl that year. The Raiders pick first on the clock, and they draft Mendoza. But week one, which week 1 lies to you. Week 1, the Raiders beat the Patriots on the road. So things do happen with crap teams early on. So that's what you're banking on if you're the NFL. Plus, the NFL looks at it, no matter who they put on, you're going to watch it.
Yeah.
And probably bet on it. And you're going to like it. It'll be the game tonight. Even though it's Cleveland, Arizona, you're still going to be watching it.
Well, I understand that. Like, no one's arguing the idea of, like, I won't watch the opening game of the season. Think, of course I'll watch the opening game of the season. Okay, I'm an addict like the rest of you. Now, I at least draw the line at Panthers, Jags, Thursday Night Football. My ass just takes those games off. I go see my family, spend time outside,
Why do you
literally
have to go see
touch
them?
grass.
I thought they lived with you.
Yeah. Well, I just meant see them physically rather than get locked into
We got new glasses.
Yeah, rather than get locked into like some
Cody
bad,
has
terrible.
You have better things to do than watch that.
Like genuinely, and some of this, like Alex and I have talked a lot about this because he'll just catch it no matter what. And I think he thinks in his head, and I could be wrong, he thinks in his head like, no, I love football, so I'll watch it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think his tune will and or would change if he had kids.
I think it should change. Probably. It probably should. Like for me, Cody, I don't have kids. So now, if the wife if wifey wants to do something, then you marginalize. Okay, yes, I want to spend time with you. In a way, it's where if you're single, you can do whatever you want to.
Hey,
obviously.
Drew,
my wife will ask.
Chew it and do it.
My wife will ask on a Thursday night football game pretty regularly, I would say, during the NFL season. Like if we're thinking we want to go do something, or we're just thinking of watching something else or hanging out or spending time together in a different way, right, Drew? She'll ask, do you need to watch the Thursday night football game? She'll just ask, do you need to watch this one tonight? And I'm like, let's check the old calendar. Oh, it's Cardinals Saints. Hell no, I don't need to watch it. We can watch literally anything else.
But it is for work purposes, though. It is for work purposes.
I'm not coming in here on a Friday and talking Saints.
Bink, we're not talking about how
the topic.
If anything happens, like if Tyler Shuck breaks a record, it'll come up, but it's not. You're not breaking down Tyler Shuck film.
People will be so starved for regular season games.
The first game is different, and everybody will watch
the
it.
Hall of Fame game, by the way, I think it's going to be the Cardinals and the Panthers.
Oh, really? Two of the teams I named.
But you're so starving for it, you watch that because the first preseason game, there's some interest there, even though the starters don't play in that game. But you get the preseason, you can't wait till training camp starts, but then you can't wait for preseason to begin. And then it begins, then you can't wait for it to be over, and you can't wait for the regular season. You get that teasers from college football going on, but you cannot wait for the National Football League to start for real games. And really, it doesn't matter who's on. You're probably going to watch it. Of course, the Seahawks are going to be in that first one, the 49ers, Rams. In Australia, the Cowboys, Giants. I mean, I think those are appealing games that people watch. And the schedule release has become, the NFL has done a Houdini act with the schedule release. For all these other leagues that want to get interest, and they all clearly do.
Yeah.
Remember baseball, they moved their draft to a time where it was the All-Star Week, and they did it where people could watch it.
Try to get maximum views.
Which always made sense that there wasn't going on during the game. Because I remember, covering the Royals many times, where the people that covered the team would leave to go to a press conference with the GM during the game to talk about who they drafted.
Yeah.
So all the people that were on your beat for the game were leaving to go talk about who you drafted and we'll see for 4 more years.
Sure.
But that's what Major League Baseball did. They didn't get it. Starting games overseas instead of here. These other leagues have kind of learned what the NFL's doing. It's been a lot of copycat going on because the NFL gets it right. They've been able to have every month there's something viable the NFL's doing. The schedule release, I've talked about this many times, but we did a schedule release back in 2015, 2016. Drew, this came on after Vern. And this had to have special permission from the PD at the time. I said, do you mind if I come on air at 11:30 tonight and talk about the Chiefs' schedule? It just came out today. Because that's when they came out. They don't have this creative little videos.
It wasn't like the social media Super Bowl for every NFL team.
And I wonder if the NFL put out a directive, no Vrabel and Rossini, because teams that are playing the Patriots probably will find a way to work that in.
Haven't stopped them any other time. I mean, they
you're not supposed to throw jabs
issues
at other teams now like that. I'm just curious.
Teams have been doing it, though.
The Chargers have done a very good job.
They're the king of it.
But you'll see some Vrabel and Rossini that night because that story's going to take a back seat to the schedule release. But, it became more than just W's and L's. You talk about how many primetime games you're in, and it's become an animal to where the last 4 or 5 years, people sit there, they hit refresh all the time, the trackers for where your team's playing in week 8. Oh, we still don't know who are playing in week 8. We got to figure out, we're still, Monday night still. Chiefs still don't have the 6 primetime games yet. Where are they going to end up? Can they get that primetime game? But the schedule, it's amazing what has gone on really in the last 6 or 7 years with the NFL schedule.
It definitely adds
to... Like, it literally has become a different animal.
Yeah, it definitely adds to the fodder, like for us to talk about, obviously, when the Chiefs play, who they play, international game versus not, Christmas Day versus not, Thanksgiving Eve, like all of these things. It's good for that. The intrigue of, I get that people are a football star and all that other stuff, but there is a limit, I think, to it.
I don't think there is a limit to the NFL.
We haven't seen it.
But just the same as we've talked about with an 18-game schedule or a 20-game, there is a point.
Yes.
Where too much becomes too much, and I don't want to. And you think that I'm going to sit here and watch Saints versus Cardinals when I'm not, and there's going to be a majority of people who are not, because.
The gambling opened that up for Kansas and Missouri that have an interest in watching that game.
But Bink, I understand that, but if you get to the point where you're stretching, you're assuming that people are going to change 5 days of the week to change their schedule 5 days of the week to watch 5 individual games. I think you're kidding yourself, especially when the matchups aren't as good. And then you're starving your Saturday and you're starving your Sunday schedule, which is going to make people tune in maybe even a little bit less if depending on the
maybe
game.
Maybe a matchup, but still the world champions play. Whether they play the Cardinals or not, you're still seeing the Super Bowl champions playing. So there is some interest in there. And you haven't seen regular NFL games going on. It's going to be the first game, and you're going to probably want to be interested and watch it. And that's why they do it. And the
opening night I'll watch for sure.
I haven't seen anything gain the steam like the schedule release has. Because this is every network putting it out, the Fox and CBS and NBC.
The NFL is the king of making
releasing
it
that one game. Yeah. And then all of a sudden on the 14th, they all do. The social media teams make the videos. Who's got the best video? But the Royals, when their schedule comes out, you get an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got 162 of them.
I know.
Like the only sports I think where the schedule matters legitimately are college football and
NFL football
and NFL football. It's football because there's so few games. When do you play primetime versus not? Yeah, all the like the college football schedule is still a big deal, but it's not like the NFL. But there's so many games in basketball and hockey and everything else. It matters, but you're going to get to it when you get to it more than you are just locked in on predicting records and all those other things like we like to do.
I think so many people, especially in this town, rotate their season on what's going on. It's become the new lake house that people go get. It's become that passion for fans to go out and spend the money on season tickets, go and make it a family event where your family or friends come over for each of the games. You see the schedule, think, have a get-together here on this Monday night or this Wednesday night. And it's become such a thing with family and friends, the gatherings in Kansas City to watch football. It becomes a big deal. When's your team playing? They playing at night or are they playing during the day? They schedule their lives around it. So maybe not have a wedding on that day, or maybe, hopefully not. Hopefully never do that. But
Bink is anti-fall wedding.
100%.
Thinks everything should be in summer.
I think
or late spring.
I think
as long as it doesn't interfere with the schedule.
I'm anti-fall wedding as well, but I do think there's, but it's not. But Bink, and maybe you're probably not the right person to ask this, I guess. But if you're in like Mac's about to get married. If Mac if his wife or his fiance wanted to get married in August, like September 21st or something like that, or September 30th,
he wouldn't have agreed to that.
I think he would.
He would not have.
And what are your priorities, Bink?
Rob got it done right before the season started.
But if his wife would have said, "Hey, hon, I want to get married in October because of those other things," I think Rob would have been a little. There might have been a part of Rob that was disappointed.
No,
but ultimately Rob would have said, "Okay."
He wouldn't have. You can text Mac and ask him, would he have gotten married in October?
I think he would have.
I don't think he would have.
I think he would
have. I don't
so
think Mac would have done that. That'd be a good Max Bennett.
I'll text him.
That's relationship dependent. So
text Mac, because I'm going to say no.
Let's talk a little Royals baseball here, and we'll talk Bobby Wood Jr. coming up in about 15 minutes from now.
One thing on the schedule. Imagine that week, though. You get Sunday night football, Monday night football, Wednesday night football before Thanksgiving, 3 games on Thanksgiving, 2 games on Black Friday. Just imagine that week.
I've told you, and this is personal, and it is not a judgment on other people or the way that they want to watch it. I hate that. I don't want to watch NFL football Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's too much.
No, it's not too much.
I like it locked into like 3 days. I don't want it 7 days in a row.
Yes.
And it's not like that's for me personally. I understand it's different for
Might
everybody.
as well add a Tuesday game, too, since we're doing it all out in Thanksgiving week.
Yeah. What's the difference at that point? You're only missing 1 day. Might as well just lock that one in, too. Yeah, and then at least the problem's solved. Let's talk a little Royals baseball as it relates to the outfield. I was thinking more about this team over the weekend as they continue to try to crawl their way back to 500. Still 3 games below, still 2.5 games, or game and a half back, of first place in the American League Central. But really, I was trying to figure out, are they capable, or do we have confidence that the level of outfield production they're getting right now can at least maintain? Because, Bink, if it can, it will be 3 times better than the total outfield production they got for last year. Here's the outfielder so far. Jack Caglione is hitting .246 with a .319 on base percentage, .737 OPS. It's okay. It's not like world beating, but it is certainly fine. Isaac Collins, .241, .352 on base, .713 OPS. Kyle Isbell, .268, .330 on base percentage, .732 OPS. That's almost as good as Jack Caglione's with a better on base percentage. Lane Thomas, .208, .356 on base, .620 OPS, no power. And then Starling Marte, who's played a handful of games, .306, .333, and .722. I don't think it's crazy to say that this is the level of production they could get, but I will say the one still missing element, they're hitting for better average. They are getting on base more. They are getting more RBI. They are certainly more productive. Power is where I would say they can't just maintain the rest of the season. At some point, Lane Thomas, Jack Caglione, and specifically those two, need to put the ball over the wall. Collins was never going to be a big home run guy. Neither was Marte. Neither was Kyle Isbell. It is Jack Caglione and Lane Thomas. And unless they're going to get some power, they're going to have to at least get on base at this percentage and then just hope that Vinny and Salvi hit better with runners and scoring position. Now, Vinny, since May 1st, since the clock turned over from April to May, his numbers are fine. He's hitting like 300 with a 320 on base percentage. So that's not a huge deal.
Well, one thing is the team the Royals are getting ready to play the White Sox. At this point last year, they had like 19 home runs. They've got over 50 now. 51 home runs, something like that. That's been the biggest difference. It's not made a huge difference. They're still an under 500 team, but they're much better than they were a season ago. Why? They increased their power all around. And so the White Sox become a more viable team because of adding that power. I think that the thought of Jack having more home runs at this point, but I would definitely take Jack this year over last year, 100%. I think Jack's
he's been way better.
I think Jack's on a great trajectory. Love seeing it.
Yeah, for Jack, it's just like, again, the big addition is when will the ball go over the wall? That's it. He, to this point.
The fences came in and started putting that over it.
Well, it's happening more. He's still got 4 home runs. He's third on the team. I'm not going to pretend like, or no, he's got the third most on the team, but he's
Bobby's
actually
at the 5,
fourth
man.
on the team. Yeah, Bobby, Salvi, Vinny all have 5. Carter Jensen still leads the team with 6, and then Jack Caglione has 4. But he has yet to become, and this is a big part of Jack Caglione's next evolution of development, more home runs and more run production. He's not getting RBI. He's not getting guys home from third. He's not hitting home runs when guys are on base. He's got to become, at some point, in the long term for this franchise, a run producer. That's what Vinny's been so great at in his major league career. That's what, that's why Carter, Salvi, Vinny, Bobby all have a similar number of RBI. And even Michael Garcia has done a significantly better job in that category. I think there's a pretty good chance they can maintain this level of production. What I'm starting to realize, though, is this alone might not be enough to make them a playoff contender. Because right now, they're banking on their entire offense, not their entire offense, but like Michael Garcia has been awesome. Bobby Wood Jr. is in even better than that, and now Vinny's getting hot. Can you count on that for the rest of baseball? Can you just count on Bobby Wood Jr. hitting 302 with a 372 on base and an 847 OPS just being that for the rest of the season?
With Bobby, I would say yes.
Yeah, that's true.
With him, I would. Somebody else, maybe not, but Bobby, yeah, it's what he does.
Where do you think they rank in team home runs this year?
Oh, with the issue.
I can look it up. I'm just asking.
Bottom
What's your
half,
guesses?
but I don't know if they're in the bottom 5 anymore or bottom 10 anymore.
They're definitely bottom half. I would think that they're bottom, near the bottom. Maybe
I would say bottom half.
God, they're much better than I thought. Bottom half, but not nearly as low as I thought. 17th.
All right.
17th currently in baseball. They don't have one big bopper, but they do have, 3 guys with 5 home runs, 1 guy with 6, and 1 guy with 4. So that certainly does it. They are tied for 17th with the Colorado Rockies, and they're ahead of every single team in the division that isn't the Twins and the White Sox are ahead of them. White Sox are currently 6th in baseball because, well, they've got one of the leading home run guys in Major League Baseball.
Like I said, they were 19 home runs last year at this point.
Yeah.
They've jumped up 30
So,
home runs.
I can't ask for more home runs, can I? I don't think.
It's made the difference for that team.
And part of that's because the outfield, Jack Caglione's got 4. Did they have 4 home runs in the outfield last year? This is not an exaggeration.
Total? The whole season?
I'm dead serious. Did they have 4? This isn't even like me trying to be hyperbolic.
You might be
I'm
serious,
asking
yeah.
a serious question. Did the Royals have 4 home runs from their starting outfield last season? Certainly not out of the 3 guys that started the season. Like they didn't get him out of the 3 guys who started the season. But I don't know, maybe some random Massey games when he was in left.
Yaz ended up with 9.
Okay. But how many of those did he hit for a different team? He hit 9 for the Royals.
I mean, a total of 9.
I mean, we're over.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's in the 50 games. So Yaz had him, so that's fine.
We're over a month into the season. How much do you think?
50 games, he had 9 now.
Do you think the dimensions are changing any? Just not necessarily the way we think about it, but just from them being where they're at. Is that? I know it's not a big jump, obviously.
No.
If they were top half, then maybe it's a bigger conversation, I guess, than where it is now.
Well, I'll say it's not a dramatically different outfield, so it's not like I can ignore it, Drew. Right? I mean, I can't just tell you
the numbers are better. The dimensions change. Maybe that's.
Well, Cole Reagans has also given up a league-leading amount of home runs, which seems concerning. Now that was before he got hurt, of course.
It's been the biggest disappointment.
It's probably not nothing. And so, like, those things you got to at least be paying attention to. Some said it's not Keck's fault. He's sitting after Salvi and Jensen, who were auto outs. Carter Jensen was only an auto out for a couple of weeks. He, for a while, was hitting incredibly well. And the last 3 games been over this last series better as well. I just think he was in a slump. I know he's hitting 220
He's striking
or whatever,
out all the time.
He is. Look, he's not hitting ahead of anybody that's getting on base a ton. I'll give him that. But it's still like sometimes it's your job to produce runs when they're there. And I would say when given the opportunity, it has not been his strength up to this point. And so it's something that they'll have to at least keep an eye on. Bink, I saw you. You had sent in the rundown. You were excited because it's schedule release. Maybe the Cardinals are playing the opening game. Jeremiah Love's on the team.
Excited. Let's not get anything mistaken here. I'm not excited about the Cardinals on national TV.
Why did you find it? This goes back to like me not wanting to sign him. Jeremiah Love signed a record for guaranteed amount for any running back in the NFL.
$53 million.
I guess that's what happens when you pick top 5 in the NFL. But this is also why I didn't want them to draft a running back. Is that what you were getting at? I don't want him to take a running back.
No, I wouldn't talk about that in the slotting system.
Like Saquon Barkley.
Well, they were going to have to pay him because of where he was slotted in.
Yeah.
No, when he said that he's going to take that money and put it away. He's not going to go out and spend on everybody in cars and everything else. What he said is, quote, I live in the era of NIL, so I'm pretty well off already. So you want to talk about it being a game changer for sports? It is, because now guys are not coming hungry and broke to the National Football League, at least first rounders.
You think that maybe they're not working as hard?
No, I think they're working as hard, but that bank account's definitely much more flush. And for guys that, like Jeremiah Love, that could have stayed in school and actually gotten a crap load on nil, not $53 million guaranteed worth what he got. But the fact that he's putting it away because of what he's got nil, he says, quote, I'm pretty off already.
Yeah, why not?
I wonder what I wonder, Cody, is what you're asking Bink more of a, are they going to have the same level of desire of playing like they're broke in year 2 when they know that they want to get that?
We talk about it in college because they fight to play for college to get the paycheck. But now they're paid. So maybe in college, like, does it become an issue in the pros where some rookie doesn't come in there
but a lot of guys do
because he made
spend a lot of
$3.5 million in college, and he was a fringe NFL player before.
Didn't Peter Woods buy a couple of cars right away from being drafted where he was?
Dude, he did his draft party from like a Maserati dealership.
But I don't know if he paid for him or what, got a deal on him.
His mom and sister got cars. I know that.
Yeah. 29th pick in the draft. Boom. No, I think guys do spend a lot of money, and a lot of the Neal money goes away. But some guys don't. Gronk never did. He just uses advertising money.
Yeah, he said he was good with it. Travis Kelce said he blew through his
Marshawn Lynch was the guy that supposedly didn't do it either. And save that money and use that endorsement.
And I don't want to get down the whole NIL thing again, but that's what NIL is supposed to be, though. Like, if you look at the earnings that golfers make, they make significantly more money from endorsements, and the on-course stuff is just gravy on top of it. And if you're really good, that's where you make your money.
But it's great hearing a guy saying, listen, I'm well off as I am now. I'm going to take that money, put it away. That's smart. Whoever's advising Jeremiah Love, this is smart. He said, hey, I already made a ton of money. Which this is changing the game. Nil is changing the game. And will it cause people not to be as hungry? Maybe.
I mean, I would certainly think if you were one of the guys who used to fight for a spot in the 53, but you've made $2.5 million, and you're like,
yeah, your later draft picks probably definitely.
I can invest
in that,
and like live on a dividend for. It just depends. Like Diego Pavia was a later draft, but he wasn't even drafted. But he certainly made plenty of money in college. He's not like hard up for cash.
Same thing with like same thing with like I think they asked Jeremiah Smith the other day. I know he's obviously not in the NFL, but they asked him what his dream car was. He was like, I mean, a Lamborghini Urus, and I've got that right now. Like these guys are already getting what they. When you get drafted by the NFL, I want to get my dream car. I want to get this. They've already got that in college now, which is kind of crazy to think about. But
unless they've had to give it back,
that's where we're at.
Like, let's just not, like, it doesn't happen. It's athlete by athlete case. We can't generalize, but there will always be people who, once they're paid, the work part of it, or the hard work, or the grind of the bone, at all cost part of it doesn't exist in everybody.
I'm just saying we haven't really heard this.
Yeah.
This guy got $53 million guaranteed, and it's like, nah, I already have money.
I am curious. Could you mention, like, with this, not why you not draft, this is why you want to draft him. Because he was drafted 3rd and not like 8th or 9th, where does that put with Jeremiah Love? I know the guaranteed money is one thing, but where does that put him for money made by a running back this individual season? Do we know where that puts
he'll
him?
Be like 10th probably.
7th to 10th, I think.
Okay.
His cap number this year? Because his cap number, this works. Rookie cap number deals are still somewhat low.
Yeah, he's still getting paid less than Ken Walker, of course. But
the crazy part is, like, by total guarantees, it's like $20 million more than anybody's ever made. It's a
Brees Hall, actually, with his extensions, making more than Kenneth Walker. The extension signed this weekend.
Drew, for cap hit,
That's right.
For cap hit, he's ninth.
It's
So
seventh
he's being
among
paid like a
current
top
running
10 back
backs.
straight away.
13.25 is seventh among current NFL running backs.
Yeah, he's an almost $10 million cap hit this year. It's only Barkley, Aaron Jones, oof, Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, Brees Hall, Josh Jacobs, and Jonathan Taylor, who will make more against the cap this year. When we come back, there's something going on. Bobby Wood Jr. is having an incredible season again. Let's talk a little bit about where his season has gone, but something I heard in postgame made me think something else about Bobby Wood Jr. and his future in Kansas City.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
For all the things you have to do and places you need to be, let Uber take you there. Because you had just one more 3 rounds ago. Because the 5 a.m. flight seemed like a good idea at the time. Because check engine lights always appear at the worst possible times. And because parking downtown is a nightmare. Because there are nights out, airport trips, and car troubles in your area, there are drivers in your area. Uber. Request a ride today. Wait time varies. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Time's running out to get 10% off your home painting project. Take advantage of CertaPro's spring sales event before May 15th. And if you've been putting off painting, now's the time. From scuffs inside to peeling paint outside, protect your home with CertaPro painters. Their free estimates are detailed and easy to understand. And each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. So schedule your free estimate now at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Oh, the weather outside is beautiful. We are at a great point of the sports calendar. We just concluded with the draft. We got baseball going on. We got the playoffs going on right now in basketball and hockey. And you know what? Golf season is in full swing. And let me tell you that right now, all FanDuel customers can get two, not one, but two 30% profit boosts to use before the golf tournament begins this week. Use them on top finishes, top 5, top 10, top 20, and more. And back the golfers you think will be in the mix come Sunday, because in a tournament like this, it's not just about who wins, it's about who stays near the top. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started today and get two 30% boosts to use during the golf tournament this week. It's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is with non-withdrawable profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the high chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down,
Lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase. 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Stephen A. Smith joins CDOT Monday at 2:30 right here on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, Cody Tapp, Jay Binkley, Drew Nixon with you. Drew, did the graduation go okay?
Yeah, it was
Went
really
to go see
good.
your sister graduate grad school,
Yeah,
right?
she officially
got her
has
master's.
Yeah, she's got her master's degree. She's got a job lined up and everything like that. She's ready to go.
She's already got a job lined up?
Yeah, that one of the it's crazy. So I guess in her field they take this big test and you have to pass it, otherwise you can't get a job. But
sure,
she had already kind of accepted a job. They said, okay, if you pass this exam, you've got the job. If you don't, then you don't pass. Then you don't have the job. It's that simple. She passed, obviously. So. But yeah, she's very relieved to be done with school.
Should be living in Florida still?
Probably forever. Yep, she's just moving back across the state to Fort Lauderdale, West Palm area.
So she's going to be over by your brother.
Yeah, I can't remember. One of the schools that she interviewed at was where Lamar Jackson went to high school, in Boynton Beach. I don't think she went to Boynton High School, but that's where Lamar Jackson went.
You're a former Florida guy yourself?
I am.
I think he misses it, although he is torched. Drew's ankles look red.
Dude, that's
fat.
a good one. Yep. They're swollen. I will say, I kind of miss the humidity in Florida, and I know that might sound crazy because people are like, oh, it's humid here. It can get humid here, but it's not Florida humid. It was really nice to be able to wake up at 9 and walk to the gym or whatever, because my sister's got a gym that's close to her, and to just feel like not stuffy, I guess, but to feel the humidity was
sweat
kind
on
of
your
nice.
back.
Yeah.
You know? You'll get that in Kansas City soon enough, Drew.
Oh no, I definitely know it's going to be here.
It was prime outdoor weather last night. I'm actually looking forward to warmer mornings only because my kid Bink is making me play basketball like 6:45 every morning.
Well, it's
I don't leave
daylight
for
at
work
6:30 a.m. It's perfect.
I don't play. I don't leave for work until we've played some horse or some one-on-one or some version of it. You know.
I'm sure your neighbors love that.
They got to deal with it, I guess. We're not that loud.
The bouncing of the ball.
Yeah, I guess.
It sounds like
We only have one real neighbor anyway.
It sounds like if you had a neighbor that was doing that, you would say something big.
No, I wouldn't care, actually. I'm not that kind of neighbor.
Kids should be kids. I think we should at least, you're welcome
We
to a
already have
kid-free life,
fireworks
but
going
not a
off.
kid-free world.
We already have fireworks going
Yeah, I
on.
heard one last night.
Yeah.
Oh,
Big
really?
one. Yeah, big
Oh, yeah.
booming one. My dog hates him, so I immediately am alerted to any of the problems. We'll talk a little bit about the Chiefs' plan for improvement this season coming up in just about 10 minutes. But Bobby Wood Jr. is having an incredible season. Probably an underrated season in a lot of regards, in the sense that I bet you don't realize he's hitting over 300, that he has an on-base percentage that's like 375, that he is, I think Dusty pointed out on Twitter, the best defensive player in baseball. That
Number
he has
one
an
in WAR.
847 OPS. He's the number
In
one
all of
WAR
baseball,
player
tied
at
for it.
tied for it. At 2.8 total WAR. He's been awesome in this stretch where they've won 11 of 16 games. All of that stuff, right? He's been incredibly underrated. And then I heard him talk about his inside the park home run on Saturday. If you missed it, it was obviously electric. And then he was talking after the game with Bridget Howard, the new field reporter, and what do you do when you hit the ball hard there and realize you might have a chance to do it? So, he sat there and he was giving, sometimes it shorter answers or whatever. It happens. He's like, hey, you hit the ball hard, you run. We're not satisfied, this stuff. And I genuinely thought more about it. And I think Bobby Wood Jr.'s perfect market is Kansas City. I say that as a Kansas Citian, so I'm obviously biased. I don't think he would enjoy being a Met. I don't think he'd like being a Dodger. I think he is made to be a Kansas City baseball player, and that his personality type and the skill set and the way in which he is good at everything in the game across the board is a match made in heaven for the Royals and for Kansas City and for the market and all this other stuff. And while he'd be fine, it's not like he'd shrink under the pressure of being a Yankee. I don't fear that in any way for him. I do think he would prefer and should prefer being somewhere like this. Not where you can lay in the weeds, but at least where you're still allowed the freedom to have an under-the-radar season where everything isn't talked about all the time. He's still only the third or fourth favorite for MVP this year, and he's been the best player in the sport, other than Shohei Ohtani. He hasn't been better than Shohei. He's been the best player in the American League. I'll give him that.
Well, just look at kind of where he sits. I mean, in this town, people are still talking all the time about Salvi. And clearly, they were watching Jack get to the pros and talk about him a lot. But for as good as he is, I think we take it for granted sometimes. Like how good just watching this guy each and every day is. Because there are other Royals that are in the spotlight. He's probably the youth. When they say, who's your favorite baseball player, it's Bobby Wood Jr. Still probably a lot of Sal's, too. Despite Bobby having a much better year. He's a much better baseball player at this point in his career than Sal. But Sal would definitely, have his fans or people like him. Garcia's got, his share of fans. Vinny's definitely got his share. Jack's getting a lot of fandom, too. But he's kind of under the radar. Even as good as he is, even in Kansas City, I think we kind of take Bobby Wood. Because I remember when Jack was, coming up to the Royals and everybody last year, and everybody's, talking about seeing what Jack is doing in the minor leagues and all the shows, and everybody would talk about the home runs at Northwest Arkansas or Omaha. Yeah. When's he going to get to Kansas City? It's like you already had one of the best players in all of baseball that's finished 4-2 in the MVP in back-to-back years, that has more hits than anybody in Major League Baseball in the last 2 years. Nobody was really talking about him because you take it for granted how good he is. This couldn't happen in other markets, but it can here, and Bobby's a humble guy.
Yeah, it's just like you're kind of going through this little bit of a resurgence where it's easy to miss Bobby Wood Jr. sometimes because he doesn't hit 60 homers. And because I'm not sure, other than defense maybe, I'm not sure he's the number one overall player in the entire league at any one thing, other than but he's not worse than fifth in anything.
You're saying he does everything really well, but nothing to the level of you have to pay attention to this guy.
He's not the best power hitter in baseball. He's not the best contact hitter in baseball. He's not the best base stealer in baseball or RBI guy. But Drew, he's top 5 or 10 in everything, single thing a baseball player has to do. Average on base percentage, power, base stealing, defense. Like, it doesn't really matter the stat. He is legitimately great at every single thing a baseball player. He is the epitome of five tool. As in, there is no part of his game that lacks behind the other. He's not coming up short somewhere. No. The power might be the only argument, and he still hits between 20 and 30 every year, so it's not like he's coming up short in that category.
Number 2 in MVP voting in 24. Number 4 in 25. Yet everybody's talking about somebody else. If you ask 10 people who their favorite Royal is, right now, because if you ask 10 people who their favorite Chief is, it's probably at least 8 or 9 Mahomes, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Bobby Wood Jr. If you ask 10 people, random people, who your favorite member of the Kansas City Royals is, think it'd be...
You think it's a mix?
I think
it's sometimes
I think if you
Vinny,
ask people that are just casual football fans, maybe not huge football fans, but casual, and do watch the Chiefs, they would certainly say Mahomes. Now, would the casual maybe just watch the Royals every once in a while say Bobby Wood Jr., or would they still say Sal Perez?
I think, well, I mean, look, there's probably more than one answer to this, but I would say that probably he's got less of a split than Mahomes has, in fairness. But championships also changed that number a little bit. Dusty had put it out earlier, because somebody's like, he is the best defensive shortstop. He's the best defensive player in baseball. Dusty put this out, 41 games. He's played 360 innings, 91 balls his way at shortstop. No errors. So 1,000% fielding percentage. We know he makes the spectacular diving special play to go with it. It's not just the ones that are hit in front of him. He's great. He's legitimately great at everything. But, like, do you guys agree with me that, like, some players fit better in certain markets, and this feels like the right market for him?
Yeah, I think
I have a hard time imagining him in, like, one of those huge markets and liking it.
I think it's because he's more low key. He feels like I don't want to say a homebody, but to bring that
He
comparison.
seems like kind of a chill dude, you know. Doesn't care
yeah.
about like being spotted by the paparazzi going to dinner on a
Correct.
Saturday night.
Yeah. He isn't going out partying. He's not like going. Yeah. He's very much. It feels like a homebody type of person in comparison to that. I mean, I think Aaron Judge is kind. I don't know if Aaron Judge fits. If he's like Aaron Judge in that kind of mold, but. And maybe his star would get a little bigger. Of course it would if he's in New York. But I do wonder if, to your point though, it feels like just the level of star, I guess, that he is in Kansas City is that enough for Bobby? Like it's not like
I think the
reason he would leave is to win more than it would be. Well, I want to play for the Yankees, or I've always wanted to put on that uniform. I want to win.
I would say that is the single biggest issue in keeping him. It is not the market size. It is not the fit. It is not that he cares
not the
to
money.
be. It's not. It's not the money. It's not that he cares to be spotted at the Met Gala. I don't think any of that genuinely is what he seeks. But the reason why you will have a hard time at some point is he knows, like everybody in baseball knows, where's it easier to win? And it's not Kansas City. It's not the easiest place to win. It's not. They are one of the only small market ball clubs to ever win a World Series in this uncapped era. So, like, it depends on where you draw the line.
And it's not as much media attention. Let's face it, even though the team's on like a 5-6 game winning streak, there'll be like 4 people there, 4 or 5 asking questions after a game.
Yeah.
In New York or something, winning 2-0 or losing 5, it doesn't matter. There's going to be, exponentially a ton more people asking you questions. There's a lot of guys that feel more comfortable here. Remember Moose? Moose didn't really like talking a lot after the game. And in Kansas City, they always put that chair in front of him to talk. But I always felt like Kansas City was the perfect place for him because you're not getting all that attention and people really, grading you when you're struggling and, coming after you every single night.
And the NFL is different. You can be in Kansas City and still get the same.
But Bobby and Patrick, I think, are wired a lot the same way, and that's good for Kansas City. You have guys that are humble despite the success, and you have guys that want to win at all costs. Well, it's playing through a little pain, nagging injuries that want to win, and they want to win here. I mean, it takes a special type of person that's not looking, hey, I need to go to New York or L.A.
In baseball, that's hard.
Well, Bobby fits in that with Kansas City, exactly what you're saying. Patrick Mahomes fits in that. It's kind of like, Patrick Mahomes stayed away from the advertisements his first year. Bobby Wood Jr. did the same thing.
Yeah.
Stayed away from them. Let me focus on baseball. Let me establish who I am as a player, as a person. They're special type guys in the league to be as good as they are and as humble as they are and really appreciate kind of where they are. Like Kansas City's really fortunate to have those, like a George Brett that played his whole career in one place.
It's rare and increasingly more rare. Obviously, we've had it with Salvi as well, but We'll talk about that more a little bit later on the show. Plus, Trash the Day coming up in a little over 5 minutes from now. But Bink, you had asked a simple question to me, which was, what is the Chiefs' plan as it relates to difference-making players? And is it simply just coaching will fix it? At wide receiver, I think it's inarguable. And at corner, I think it's inarguable, other than the fact that they added a top 6 pick in the NFL draft in Mansour Delane. So they're counting on talent there, too, not just coaching. But I think it is undeniable that a huge part of the Chiefs' off-season plan is, we'll coach you up on defense with guys we already know we can do it, Spags and others. We know how to coach up guys on the line. We need to coach up secondary. We know how to do that. We're good. And that their plan on offense was, we'll just get better at running back, add in Eric Bieniemy to coach up the rest of the running backs, and then O'Shea will fix the rest. It feels risky, admittedly. Feels like it'd be easier to just, get talent rather than, the Jimmy's and Joe's argument, right? Bink, that always feels like talent is better than just we'll coach him up. But, what other choice did they have? They were limited financially.
It looked like they looked at their team last year, and they thought, is this just a talent issue? Which some would argue it is, because I still think they're depleted in talent at the wide receiver position, and then depth as far as tight end. You're hoping Kelsey stays healthy. You're hoping an aging tight end stays healthy.
But Travis Kelce stayed healthy his entire career, so I don't really feel
it's not been a concern, but it is football, and guys do get hurt.
Sure.
With the NFL on defense, they had to get some pieces. They lost some pieces. They had to replace those. I understand what they did there. But looking at this team, I think doing the evaluation process, they're like, well, this team needs more accountability. They're terrible against man coverage when the receivers are terrible against that. They're terrible with the drops. And maybe they thought, well, we need accountability. We need somebody that's going to get in them. They come out there, drop a pass. You come to the sideline, you get a pass Eric Bieniemy, and then you get a pass Chad O'Shea, which O'Shea seems a lot like Bieniemy early on, to be honest with you, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The way he's barking at everybody at the rookie minicamp and everything. This is what Bieniemy did. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That's accountability to your players.
Ken Walker said the first thing he said was the problems he was.
Yeah, I mean, that's the refreshing part about what it is, that accountability. But see, is that a directive coming down? Because, hey, be who you were. We need this. Our guys lack focus on a lot of different areas. We need to coach them up. But they spoke on what they did. They didn't address receiver, didn't address tight end. Only really running back was what they addressed, because that was a glaring hole that they needed to bring a new running backs coach in DeMarco Murray. But they made those changes
this is 3 years
for
in
accountability and hope the coaching brings the level up instead of talent.
This is 3 years in a row they're not changing the wide receivers.
No.
Not changing the tight ends. They changed the running back, so I don't want to pretend like they didn't change anything. But the offensive line is the same, the wide receivers are the same, and the tight ends are the same. They didn't
Play caller's the same, head coach is the same.
They are convinced talent is not their problem. Convinced it's not the issue.
I think accountability and
at running back, they finally came to that decision. They decided that running back talent was a problem. But at wide receiver, they refused to accept that. And I think partially it's because over his last 2 seasons when he plays, which is only 12 games, Rashee Rice is an 1,100-yard wide receiver. And they think that probably the injury for Xavier Worthy slowed his season, and maybe they underused Tyquan Thornton or anything else in between. But I would say their single biggest plan on offense is Ken Walker will either save us, or Ken Walker coupled with better coaching will save us. I don't think they have some plan alternate that.
I think there's also a reliance on Mahomes to be superhuman like he is. Well, Mahomes can take whatever talent we have and make them better. So it all trickles down to the quarterback is.
Yeah, but
if the quarterback was an average quarterback, I do believe they would have different talent at wide receiver.
And I'm not saying that he's not going to be the same quarterback, but that's the big question I think coming into this is where you hear what we played last week. I think it was where Gerald McCoy's he's going to have to be a different quarterback. He isn't going to run the ball that much.
At least
he's
the
going to
first
have to.
month.
Yeah, what? That's where I think it's going to be really interesting in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Some guys come back better. Remember, Randall Cunningham had that serious knee injury. He came back as a better quarterback.
I understand that, but from the standpoint of them not doing anything to the offense other than bringing in a running back, if they don't run the football anymore than they already have been, then are they making use of the money that they're spending? Them paying Ken Walker what they're paying him, they should be hypothetically using him more in the offense. Where if you look 5 games into the season and he's got the same stat line as his stat line's better, but the usage is the same as Kareem Hunt was. then you're not using the money the right. Then you probably shouldn't have paid him.
Yeah, you should have paid a cheaper running back.
Yeah.
But I also think that, like, in their history, believe it or not, although we don't accuse them of running the ball too much, when they have an elite level running back, they're good at using him. Like when they had Kareem Hunt at his peak, they used him a lot.
He led the NFL in rushing.
When they had Clyde Edwards-Helaire playing well, they used him a lot.
Yeah, the whole
They're not afraid
adage,
to use running backs when they work.
The whole adage is Andy Reid's not going to run. Well, Kareem Hunt led the NFL in running. So the Chiefs had the NFL's leading rusher.
But they didn't lead the NFL in rush attempts, and I don't want them to.
But I think Kenneth Walker, too, brought in, goes hand in hand with Mahomes.
Yeah, it does.
Like, if they're going to pay so much attention to Mahomes and throwing the ball deep, they're just backing the safeties up. He's going to keep running Kenneth Walker. And if Kenneth Walker explodes, got 140 for the game, then Mahomes hits him over the top. I think they think those two will play off each other.
Absolutely.
I think that's the big thing, that having Kenneth Walker in that backfield makes that offense better.
All right, Drew, let's get to it.
Trash of the day.
Trash of the day. You guys know, Drew, on this show, I've been joking that Alex has been working towards looks maxing. You know, where the people reportedly take like a hammer to their face in an attempt to have better bone structure, look more attractive, you know, like this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, move aside looks maxing. There's an article up over on Fox News that says, and this is the headline, quote, ball maxing is electrifying, addictive, euphoric, and transcendental, according to those pursuing bigger balls. Men's Health apparently has reported that there are men who are making an effort for the online self-improvement practice to improve one's physique, and it is headed south of the border. As in, they are doing extreme things in an effort to pursue and have bigger balls, Pink.
I'm gonna
ball maxing.
This isn't even like The Onion, dude. This is a real story.
If you're doing that, are you trying to figure out how to say this? Are you going for the right? Are you trying to maximize the right spot?
I just think, what are you asking for the discomfort? Like, why do you want this discomfort in your life?
Yeah. But are you by doing this? Is this the? Are you going for the right spot?
You're saying it should have been a different spot in the same area?
If you're trying to maximize something, I don't. I mean.
Yeah, but maybe like if that had been discovered, they probably would. You know what I'm saying? Like Drew,
Sure,
right?
yes.
They would have already targeted that. But they seemingly have found a methodology to this, you know? I'm not saying it's a good one.
There's a
but
57-year-old man quoted in here, said he's been fantasizing about this for decades, having bigger balls.
Has somebody commented on it before? He said, I'm, quote, this is the same guy, quote, I'm astonished how flexible the testicles are. They just expand.
Dude, you're not.
Why, dude?
What?
Why, man?
What?
Ball maxing, man.
What good does that does nothing?
I don't know. I guess you
It
feel
does
more like a
nothing.
man if you've got, I guess.
We need some
that's
ball
gotta be the
maxing
only thing,
commercials.
right?
Drew,
No.
would you do a commercial for ball maxing? You've done Blue Chew. Would you do ball maxing? Like if they came to you today and said, Drew, we want to sponsor you for ball maxing and have the surgical lubricant injected in you.
No.
You wouldn't do it for money?
No. There are a lot of things I'll do for money. That
is not one
You
of
wouldn't
them.
do ball maxing.
I'm not going to be like that
If sales came up and
57-year-old.
said, Cody, we want you to be our new ball maxing
There's
guy.
no way the FDA is taking a look at this. Zero chance. I'm going to end up all kinds of messed up 10 years from now from this thing. People breaking their face. Somebody says this is reminding him of the South Park episode over on Twitch and on the text line where Randy Marsh puts his in a microwave and he's like carrying him around in like a wheelbarrow and all that stuff. It does have a little bit of.
Would you have to make them bigger on the back of your truck? The people who have the truck nuts?
But it seems like that's what they're going for, dude.
I know.
I will
Ball
say,
maxing.
I've never once in my life thought, like, that feels like it's inviting. I'll need my, like you'll need the pants adjusted or like I was running a discomfort issue
yes.
or like I feel like I wouldn't. Even if this was possible, this doesn't seem like it's on my checklist of things
Would
to
you
have
wear
done.
tighter pants and kind of show them off?
There's no.
If you ball maxed?
I don't know.
And
I mean, I guess if you're going that far.
There's
maybe.
no professional setting. There's zero professional setting that you could do that. You'd have to, I don't know, get us.
Either way, that's the trash of the day.
Interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah. taking it one step further. When we come back, we'll have the Chiefs Red Half Hour. There is one player I need to ask Bink whether or not I'm being a little too low on my excitement level about their joining the team. We'll talk about that next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? You need Jay's Southland Tow Service. They have 20 years of experience and service the KC metro area. They specialize in light, medium, and heavy duty, also in commercial transport and construction equipment. Keep this number handy, 816-779-4TOW, or go to southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments, Jay's Southland Tow. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Future therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi?
And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connects to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobile One full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery. Staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
Some days, self-care starts with Nature-Made gummy vitamins, a deep breath, and a little encouragement.
Mom, I'm really nervous.
Me too, honey, but we've got this. Repeat after me. I'm gonna have a good day.
I'm going to have a good day.
I choose joy no matter what comes my way.
I bring joy wherever I go.
Quality gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Need a new suit? This week only, Peter's Clothiers is taking half off all Jack Henry suits. Choose from a selection of colors, styles, and sizes at Peter's Clothiers. But hurry, this sale ends soon. Half off Jack Henry suits only at Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line Road.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-750. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll talk more about the possible free agent additions for the Chiefs and why a few people in town think it's all smoke and they're done, although I don't really see the benefit of kicked out for the rest of that game. That series got tied up 2-2 apiece, probably simply based on the fact that Wemby was unavailable for the rest of the game. But no suspension and no more and no fine. I'm a little surprised no fine. NBA let it off easy there for the NBA playoffs. They a lot of times, Bink, they won't even throw you out in games like that because they don't like throwing players out of playoff games very often, I would say.
Oh, sure.
Bink, there's a player on the Chiefs who got added this offseason, Alohi Gilman. I listened back to, he met with the media on Friday afternoon, and he talked about Spag's complicated system and how the best way to learn is to be with it, but how he really appreciates his knowledge of the game, that he's trying to be a blank slate and focused on learning, being able to gather information about the defense, and then just saying, you know, I understand the mistakes I've made in my career and when I make them, and then just like not trying to take over the defense, just trying to be a part of it because that's the way it works with Steve Spagnuolo's system. I was thinking more about Alohi Gilman, a player that they did not spend a tremendous amount of money on. And I was trying to hype myself up and maybe hoping that you would do it. Maybe you're on the same side as me though, so we'll see. I am not nearly as excited for Alohi Gilman as I was even Justin Reed, let alone set aside years ago when they brought in a much needed Tyrann Mathieu. They needed a veteran safety bad. They learned that lesson last year when they couldn't get off the field on 3rd and 4th and long at some times last year. Not the whole time. They were good in some areas and ran themselves into some situations. He's a veteran guy. But at this point, I would borderline just lock in if, I think Drew said, if he's Brian Cook, are you okay? I'd be thrilled. I'm not even that level of excited. I'd probably take 90% of Brian Cook's season last year and lock it in for Alohi Gilman. Should I be more optimistic about his addition to the defense, or is he just another guy on a 1-year contract or a couple-year contract that I don't need to get all that
25
that I need to get all that excited about? But Justin Reed was 3 for 30, and safety numbers just haven't jumped. So this is around the money they spent on Justin Reed, and I remember being way more excited about his addition to the defense than I am about Gilman's. I feel like I'm trying to decide if I'm wrong on this one.
No, I think it was a much needed kind of under the radar signing for the Chiefs. And it does happen from time to time. Quarterbacks you have in the AFC and the AFC West. And the guy had 90 tackles last year combined from when he was with the Chargers and the Ravens. Yeah, keep him off 2 rivals that had him last year. I'm for it because it's definitely a position they needed. There were good safeties in the draft, I feel, but they didn't have to do it when they bring in Alohi Gilman.
Yep.
I think it's kind of one of those low-key, you're going to be very excited about who he is.
So, like, as a player? Like,
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like, I think he might just be a solid NFL player, but is he going to be better than Justin Reed was at his peak here? Is he going to be
No, I
better
don't
than
think you can
Brian
count
Cook
on that,
at
but-
his peak last year?
I
And
think
they're not exactly
I
doing
think
the
he
same
can
thing,
be as good as Brian Cook.
Okay.
I think he can be as good as that.
Because Brian Cook, the market would indicate that Brian Cook is twice the player Alohi Gilman is. And I'm not saying that the market is always a truth teller, but we do understand, right, that both of those guys were available in the market at the same time. And the contracts they got, Bink, were not the same. Brian Cook is quite a bit younger, so I would say that that is at least a portion of it, right? And that might be at least some of it. But like Alohi Gilman's contract, what was his exact contract? Let me
It was
see.
3 for 24.
3 for
Almost
24.75 million. And Brian Cook got, let's see, double that? 3 for 40.25. So not double, but they're saying he's, quite a bit better. 3 years for 40 versus 3 years for 24. I mean, they're saying there's a sizable difference in the ability of these two guys. And I think that maybe it's not just the contract numbers. Pro Football Focus grades would say that they were, relatively comparable. The Gilman was a top 20-ish safety in the league last year. He was available, but he doesn't get the ball either, and that's the other part of it that doesn't excite you is it continues to be a defense that hasn't been good
Well,
about
Cook's a little bit younger.
stealing
He's
the
2 years
football.
younger, so.
Yeah, that's a portion of it, but only 2 years. I don't know if 16 million make up 2 years, does it? Still just a 3
I
year
just think
deal.
it's kind of even though it's a different positions, but Drew Tranquil, when he came here, comes over as linebacker. You're like, okay, this is kind of a low-key, under-the-radar move that really helped the Chiefs' defense. It was when Drew Tranquil got here. I think Alohi Gilman coming over here was a position of need. I think it was a good free agent signing. They didn't have to mess with it in the draft. They get a guy back there that's played in the NFL, had 90 tackles last year. They can trust him in that secondary. And I thought it was a very good under-the-radar move for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to run out and get a Gilman jersey, but I think that he's going to be a good player.
I will say this. That does not, Binkley, that doesn't exactly, you're not wowing.
There's nothing
How
that can
about
say
that?
that's going to wow you.
You're not, like I said, Binkley, talk me into being excited about Alohi Gilman, and you're like, he's fine. You're like, well, that's not, like if you had set Alex up on a date, and he's like, talk me into why this girl's the one, and you're like, she's fine, Alex. You'll like the date. She's perfectly nice. That would not resolve it, I guess, at least in then. Look, I hope he's a nice player for the Chiefs. I do think he's a fine fit into the defense. It's not that. I was just trying to decide if it's the kind of fix in the secondary they could use in the safety department, because that is still the weakest unit on the defense. Do we agree there? The safeties are the weakest unit on the defense, weaker than the defensive line now. After their draft and the additions of some of the guys, R. Mason Thomas and Peter Woods, they are better on the defensive line, or at least I'm more sure they're better on the defensive line than they are at safety. At safety, I got no confidence.
Well, you look at the little things they can do, like the extra things they can do. For instance, last year, no interceptions. Didn't have that. As far as forced fumbles are concerned, he had one. He had one forced fumble last year when he was with the Ravens. He had that touchdown off an interception, so that interception did go for a touchdown with the Ravens. But that's kind of what you want your safety to do. Always be around the ball. And can you force fumbles? Can you get fumble recoveries? The occasional sack from time to time, because Spags will blitz
He'll
you
definitely use you for
at
that.
different times. It's not going to be a guy that leads your team or comes close to it, but he's got one sack in his career.
Yeah.
One.
But it's also like he doesn't do exactly like
That's
the
not
Texans
kind of
pointed
what he
out.
does.
They are both safeties, but they don't actually play the same role inside of it. And they're going to rely on Jaden Hicks and some of these other guys.
But I think
more.
that experience with a younger secondary, especially younger corners, helps out.
It does.
And somebody that's been around the league, understands the quarterbacks, who's played in the division, who knows the quarterbacks going forward, knows the AFC well in his time in Baltimore. So I think a lot of it can come out.
But at this point,
He spent a lot of time with the Chargers.
But at this
He's
point,
seen the Chiefs a lot.
by the time Brian Cook was gone, he was a veteran safety. Like by the time some of these guys have walked out the door, they are maybe not of that caliber or of that quality, but they are playing of that level. And I do think that it's important to note that by the time he walked away, he is still certainly a big portion, or at least a part of, what is taking place in that arena. And so it's like he is somewhere in that range outside. I was just asking, like, what level of excitement should we have? That's all. Someone says, Cody, why you got to be a hater? I'm not trying to be a hater. I was just simply saying, should I be as excited about this signing as I have been the others? I like the way he was talking about it. I like the way he was talking about the defense and fitting in. I liked everything he had to say on Friday. And I felt like they needed a veteran safety. I felt like I'd have been more excited if Brian Cook was back than Gilman in. But that might just be my comfort with Cook and the growth I saw to him in the last couple of years. There's also a reason why Cook got paid a lot of money by Cincinnati, right? He's a Bengal, right, Drew?
Well, the one thing, too, is the Chiefs have seen him in 8 games.
Yep.
He's been in this division for a long time when he's with the Chargers, but it's a guy that they've seen. As far as personal scouting, they've seen him play. Mahomes has played against Alohi Gilman a lot.
Michael, I'll ask you this question before we get into the supposed free agent entrance of Juwan Jennings and what this might mean for the Chiefs' interest in any other free agent over the next few years. But somebody said, what do you think Jalen Royals' stat line will be this year? This is where the reason why I bring this up is here's a problem, text line. You told me not to be a hater. Say, hey, man, don't be a hater. And then you asked me what Jalen Royals' stat line will be this year. If he got 150 yards, I'd be surprised.
That's fair.
Genuinely.
It's
I
fair.
would be surprised if you got 150 yards. Think they needed help?
He had 4 last year.
4 catches?
4 yards.
Oh, 4 yards.
2 catches, 4 yards.
It's not even like
7 games played.
It feels like a player we'll talk more about going into camp, and maybe camp could change my opinion on the type of season he's going to have. I understand a portion of his problem was he was buried on a depth chart, that he was hidden behind Juju and Hollywood and Tyquan and Rice and Worthy later in the season. And so by the time he would have even been comfortable as an NFL player, he had no place to be, no comfortable place to be on the offense getting catches.
He missed a golden opportunity
But they
with
will
Rice
usually-
out 6 games, Worthy gone those 3, and towards the end of the year, missed a chance to shine.
They will usually find a reason to get you some passes. And the fact that the man had 3 targets, 2 catches, and 4 yards does not indicate. And like Bink, I don't even know in those games. Were any of those catches when Patrick Mahomes was still the quarterback?
The last game of the year, he had 2 receptions, 4 yards. Those were
he
all
wasn't
against the Raiders.
Okay,
That
so
14 and 12 loss.
So in the regular, oh my God. So in the regular season in which they still thought they had any value,
No catches.
he was either inactive.
He
or
was
not
active for
targeted.
7 games.
If he had 150 yards, I'd be surprised.
But if they, so for me,
Shocked.
For me though, the only reason I think it's going to be more than that is because of what they've done right now, which is nothing to that room. So if we go into training camp though, and they still haven't signed anybody, he has to be, in my opinion, he has to be the 4th wide receiver on the roster.
Or gone.
So, or
100%.
gone. But then who are you gonna have then? Nico Remigio? Because somebody's gonna have
Jason
to.
Brownlee.
If you look at Juju's numbers, what do you have? 350 yards. I think.
Cyrus Allen.
If you're, I think somebody's gonna have to take what Juju is leaving behind, and the first name that comes up is Jalen Royals because he's the 4th guy on the roster. Just the same as Tyquan Thornton. Well, 1, he had his own numbers, but 2, Hollywood Brown's gone. So Hollywood Brown and Juju's numbers combined, somebody's got to make up for those yards. Is it Jalen Royals? We don't know. But the fact they haven't signed anybody yet, it makes me think that he'll have a bigger season than 150. But I don't know how much better than that, Cody. The only reason I'm saying it isn't even a do they believe in Jalen Royals conversation. It's more of he's all they got. And they haven't done anything to fix it to this point. So until that changes.
A better running game, that'll take away some of the touches.
I just mean the passing. Like Mahomes had what some would call a down year last year. Then 2 of the guys are gone who he's throwing to. So somebody's going to have to make up for that.
I guess the question is, what does a 5th wide receiver typically get in a Chiefs offense? Because he could
do we
already
know he's going to be the 5th wide receiver, or could it be 4?
He could be.
Unless they sign Tyreek Hill, I suppose. Right, but right now he's 4.
Tyreek Hill.
It seems like.
Is it? Is he for sure ahead of Cyrus Allen already? Both drafted in the 4th round or 5th round. I mean, I don't, he should be, Drew, but he had 0 catches for 0 yards.
So
he's the exact same amount as Cyrus Allen.
That's
he has
fair.
4 yards
That's
more
fair.
than Cyrus Allen in his NFL career up to this point.
Going into training camp,
He's not definitively ahead.
You know who the 3 locks are? Rice, Worthy, Thornton. That's your 3 locks. Some would say Jalen Royals should be a lock. So 4 locks, and then what are you keeping, 7 receivers or 6 receivers? So is there a battle just for 2 of them?
That's where the concern is,
Is
though.
Royals made the team? I don't think he has. Like, he's still got to prove it. He's still got to have a battle there for the 2 or 3 spots that remain the receiver.
Doesn't that Bink? I'm sure it does, but isn't the conversation that we're having pretty concerning given?
It goes back to the Jawan Jennings part.
Just the way the wide receiver room is, and also the number for what Jawan Jennings signed. Like David Njoku just signed 1 for 8. Some people were saying that wouldn't have been a bad guy to have behind Travis. But from the standpoint of the wide receiver room itself, if you're relying on just those 3, like normally you're going to need a 4th guy to, in some way, shape, or form, step up and give you something.
So it's the cheapest.
But we don't know if they have anybody to do that.
It's the cheapest wide receiver room out of all 32 teams in the NFL, with a $500 million quarterback, and you have the cheapest wide receiver room in the NFL.
Now,
those things
and
don't
no
gel.
resources coming in outside of Cyrus Allen.
Those things don't gel.
Now,
I think it's been a problem for the last couple of years. They've gotten by. They thought, okay, bring in the coaching staff is going to make the difference, but they have neglected that position the last 2 years.
I think this is why you saw on Monday they were interested in Jawan Jennings. And my initial thought is, whose money are they moving around to get Jawan Jennings in and the issues that come with it? But it's also why I don't think that they're just not going to sign another wide receiver. I do not think they will go into the season saying Cyrus Allen and Jalen Royals are our 4. I looked it up. Over the last 3 seasons, their 4th wide receiver averages a little over 300 yards a season. Their 5th wide receiver, a little between 2 and 3, depending on the year. Sometimes when it's more spread out, the 4th and 5th are about the same, 300, 300. And sometimes it's more spread out, and it's more like 430 for wide receiver 4 and like 100 or 150 for wide receiver 5. So nothing.
Yep.
If he's wide receiver 5, you should expect at least 150 yards. But I guess I don't know that it'll even be that. They'll throw to Kenneth Walker more. Brashard Smith might be wide receiver at 5 ahead of him. I genuinely, it's not even to be a knock. It's like he has 0 proven track record. None.
Yeah.
So until I see what's taking the place, I won't know whether or not he is any factor or
up until this point,
or
up until they sign somebody, up until they bring in Tyreek Hill or they bring in Keenan Allen or whoever. To me, Jalen Royals has to make the team just because he's.
Who else? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is a perfect spot to be. Like Cyrus Allen's draft, this is a perfect spot to be in Kansas City.
To make a team, for sure.
660 says Royals is a lock. He should be a lock. There should be 4 locks at wide receiver going to camp. But again, can he be outworked in St. Joe? If you're a 4th-round pick, you have no guarantees with an NFL team. Hell, the Chiefs got rid of Curtis Russell for a 3rd-round pick at corner before he even played 1 snap.
Is Nico more of a lock because of the punt returning stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And kick
That
returning
helps.
stuff?
So
It feels like
Jalen Royals
special
can do
teams.
that too, but we'll see. So there's no locks in the NFL. Your 4th-round pick, that is not a lock. 1st-round pick, yeah, it's probably a lock the next year. 100% it is. 4th-round pick, no guarantees for you at that point. And 816 says, well, Rice and Worthy full seasons would make up the difference. Yeah, that's great in theory. It's great in a perfect utopia. That's great in fantasy land. The problem is they have suspensions and injuries. So getting a full season is hopeful and wishful thinking.
One, as good of an offense, if you want as good of an offense as you can have, you need more than 2 guys to. You need more than 2 wide receivers to.
It always could be like someone says, why doesn't?
It's also reliance on Travis Kelce.
So why doesn't anyone have any confidence in the draft picks? Jalen Royals, I would have had some confidence in last year, but he went an entire season they didn't use him.
It was a great spot to be used.
I think genuinely, as like a radio host and fans and all this other stuff, this easily, and not even on purpose, this easily is my biggest, my biggest point of contention between me and a listener sometimes over players is, I take it a lot more seriously when somebody hasn't been used than the listener does, or than fans do. They'll be like, Jalen Royals is going to be good this year. And I'm like, they didn't use him. Not even once. They refused to put the man on a football field. And so, to me, that is a bigger indicator of year 2 success than where he was drafted or what his college film looked like. Is that they have already told you how they feel about that player, and how they feel about that player is he stinks.
In Cyrus Allen, all the love for Cyrus Allen, I get it. He might be fine.
Yeah.
Let's
I
not
have
forget,
more confidence in Allen.
Let's not forget he didn't get invited to the combine. So you're relying on a receiver that did not even get a combine.
You
Now,
spent a fifth on him?
Caldwell, undrafted free agent wide receiver from Cincinnati, actually went to the combine.
And I think I also get caught up in this too sometimes, especially because I love the college side of things. But from the 660, go back and read what writers were saying about Royals during training camp. He was showing out and they raved about him.
And then they didn't use him.
And then they didn't use him until the starting quarterback was hurt and out, and they used him in the last when they were on their third string quarterback. That's what Cody's been saying. You've been saying this for a long time now. What Cody's saying, and again, I get caught up in this of look at what he did in college. He can be that guy.
How they use
the team is telling you that the team is telling you how they feel about him. And maybe that's because they had Juju and Hollywood and Taekwon, and he was just shuffled down the board. But if he's not used this year, then they don't think that he can be a big enough of a factor to be somebody they can use on a regular basis. And the team will tell you that. It's not us. The team will tell you.
It kind of goes back to the initial, like, the Felix and Udike Uzama play. And, like, we would talk a lot about, like, oh, he's in for a big year, too. And there was a lot of debate back and forth of, and I'm not even saying players can't develop, but typically in the development of a player, they have to at least, like, in Felix's case, I get it, right? He played in all 17 games his rookie season. Didn't start any, but he played in all 17 games. Now, he only played like 30% of the snaps, and that was part of my point, is how quickly can you grow if they won't even put you on the field in order to grow?
Especially when the season's dead.
And look, sometimes they're wrong. Baseball's a key example of this. I know for a fact, in talking to Royals organization members and all this other time for a long time, they did not think Whit Merrifield would be a viable Major League Baseball player. They thought he was just a 4A player and shouldn't be a regular Major League starter. They genuinely thought that. Not like to their core. Not that they didn't think he had any chance. He had a 10-year big league career. So they were wrong. Yeah, because they called up Dusty Coleman before him and a million other things. They evaluated wrong. So if your argument is the Chiefs should use Royals, he's a better player than they're giving him credit for, maybe. Players have certainly left and been more successful with other teams before, but the Chiefs actually don't. Like, help me out here. Other than Tyreek Hill, how many players in the last entire Brett Veach run, 7 years, 8 years, whatever, how many players during that run do you think have left Kansas City and been better? Tyreek might be the only argument. He was awesome.
DeMarcus Robinson.
D-Rob?
D-Rob has been pretty good with the Rams. I don't know if he's still there anymore.
I will say, I'll have to look up the stats. I don't think he's been as better there as you would think. In Kansas City, his final 2 years were 449 yards, 466 yards. He had a bad final season in which he was injured, and 274. Yeah, shocker, Drew. 371, 458, 505, and 276.
Same sort
He's
of
actually
play.
been the exact same player.
That 505 was a career high, though.
Yeah, but he had 449 here, 466 here.
Yeah,
It's not like
he was
a
the same
career
player.
like 50 yards. He's the same guy.
They had 2.5 yards more per reception.
So D-Rob about the same.
Somebody said Sky Moore.
Tyreek set Sky Moore because what? He returns a punt? Certainly not in the receiving yardage game.
Well, Tyreek Hill exploded Miami.
Well, that's what Cody was saying, Bink.
Yeah.
Other than Tyreek Hill, are we talking only offense? Because I think the question will be, of course, Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, maybe more Jalen Watson. But if we're talking offense,
Good
there's
luck
really
getting
not that
more
many.
of those guys. Jalen Watson was a 3-year starter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I wonder if because they're paired together, if that'll just kind of stay the same. But
Somebody said maybe
Ward,
Charvarius Ward. I think he was as good. He was a number one corner, but I think he'd kind of developed into that before he left town too. Like that one's at least an argument. I'll go
if
back.
we're
and
talking
forth
offense,
on it.
especially, we don't.
Offense, not a single one.
But I'll say this as well.
Not a single one.
For those that don't think the Chiefs should throw extra darts at wide receiver in the draft, Juwan Jennings that people like, and they win him here.
So
A 7th-round pick by the 49ers. This is what happens when you take multiple shots at wide receivers. You might end up with a Juwan Jennings.
Yeah. Somebody said Kareem Hunt. That's a slightly different circumstance. He didn't like leave the team because they decided he wasn't talented
It was a
anymore.
little different.
And also, his best year was definitely here. It was his rookie and second year in the league. That was Kareem Hunt at his absolute maximum. I would argue even then. But even so, it's like slightly different. Like there's a few defensive players, maybe. And Marcus Peters was that's kind of a Dorsey Veach crossover era. So we're kind of getting stuck maybe a little bit too far back. But it's worth discussing. That used to happen to the Chiefs. Rich Gannon would go and leave and be an MVP and go to a Super Bowl. They let better players go.
But in fairness, they're better. Like I think the reason why defensive players are so good when they go other places is because the Chiefs are helping get them to the point where like we've talked about this whole time, especially with the DBs, especially with the Charvarius Wards of the world, even L'Jarius Sneed because they got him paid, and Jalen Watson and everything like that. The Chiefs are responsible for getting them to be as good as they are. That's why they let them move on, because they know that they, in history at least, have been able to recoup the same talent level. Where offense, we just haven't been able to see it since Tyreek Hill left.
When we come back, we'll do What's Trending, let you know everything that's happening in the world. Plus, the Royals had a 4-3 homestand. Was it enough?
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
At Telly Tire, when it comes to car problems, we've heard it all. From tires to timing belts to faulty air conditioning. Ooh. At Telly Tire and Auto Centers, we've been fixing problems like these and customers' bad days for over 80 years. So relax and take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
FanDuel is giving you even better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. And with more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From point spreads to player points to threes and so much more, you can build it all into one simple same-game parlay and go for an even bigger payout. So if you're betting a same-game parlay this NBA postseason, you can bet them with America's #1 sportsbook app with our friends over at FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check every stat, trend, and matchup all in one place. You can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need in just one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel right now, America's #1 sportsbook app and official partner of the NBA, and play your game. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the high Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase. 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Been putting off some much-needed painting? Well, don't wait. Trust the professionals at CertaPro Painters to get the job done right. With over 70,000 5-star reviews, they make the process worry-free, starting with a detailed proposal and ending with a professional result at the right price. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
As you prepare for your Memorial Day gathering, be sure to visit your local grocery store for Gates sauces and seasonings. Both are great on meats, fish, chicken, broccoli, spinach, hot buttered popcorn, and as a topping for your dips, or sprinkle Gates seasoning on chips and nuts for that extra flavor pop. Also, be sure to pick up a Gates party tray for celebration at the station. However you plan to celebrate, be sure to head to Gates Barbecue this Memorial Day. Gates Barbecue. Thanks with love.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is
Just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Stephen A. Smith joins CDOT Monday at 2:30 right here on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. Number one on What's Trending, the Royals baseball team, which we'll talk about coming up here just a couple minutes. Finish off their homestand 4-3 off today. Then start a series against the White Sox coming up on Tuesday. So we'll get a better sense of where they stand on the road here in just a little bit. Ended up getting a loss last night on Sunday Night Baseball after getting the first 2 against the Detroit Tigers. Hopefully the 10-game winning streak starts tomorrow, Bink, you know? Still holding court there, only a game and a half back of the AL Central.
The White Sox have been a catalyst before, but it's a much better White Sox team, especially power-wise, than you've seen in the past. And they sit, just a half game above where the Royals are in the standings. The first Sunday Night Football game will be Giants at Cowboys. That was the release today. Fox will also have the first ever NFL triple header after picking up the game in Munich.
That.
So instead of being NFL Network, there early in the morning, you get that one, the noon game, the 3:25 one. Also, it looks that the NFL will do the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th weeks playing on Saturday.
Yeah, Fox got one of those as well.
Leaks as well, because they can't do it before. You got to wait until at least mid-December to do it, because that rarely seen Sports Radio Act of 1961, where you got to you can't play same games as college game days. Literally, it's a law from 1961. You can't do it, but they're taking advantage of when they can.
Second it happens. Look, the colleges encroached in their territory a little bit too. Their season stretches later. They're doing college football playoff games later into their year as well.
They stepped all over high school football by doing Friday night games.
Yep. So they're all just like vying for each other's attention and certainly sniping off each other off of that end as well. Next up on What's Trending, NBA playoffs in action. Knicks complete their sweep of the 76ers yesterday, win that series 4-0. Was there a single close game in that entire series? It was a blowout yesterday.
Knicks literally blew every single person out.
Yeah, it was awful.
The closest game might have been like 18 points.
Game 2 or 3, yeah.
Something like that.
Reminds me what the Carolina Panthers are doing over in the NHL, winning every single game so far.
Hurricanes, you mean?
Or Hurricanes.
Hurricanes, yeah. Spurs and Timberwolves, by the way, are tied up at 2 games apiece. Victor Wembanyama, no additional suspension after being ejected last night. And then 2 games tonight. It'll be Detroit and Cleveland. Detroit up 2-1 in that series at 7. And then Oklahoma City looks to finish off the Lakers. Up 3-0 in their series. It'll be the late game tonight at 9:30, I think.
No Royals tonight, so
9:30.
you got other games to keep your attention. Only one game in the NHL as well. As far as Stanley Cup is concerned, the Canadians go up 2-1 in their series. The Ducks even the series with the Golden Knights 2-2. One game tonight, the Avalanche and the Wild, Colorado up 2-1 in this series so far. I don't know if you've started watching it, Cody, but the playoff beards are starting to early come in. Guys are into it. They play hurt. They do everything. NHL playoffs are awesome.
You got a beard going.
It's not a playoff beard.
Not a playoff beard though.
But I have enjoyed it as far as the Carolina Hurricanes are concerned. They've just been rolling their teams. They haven't lost. They've won series 4-0-4-0.
I used to think that I couldn't grow a beard, and then I saw Drew Nixon's 1 month long facial hair, and I'm like, you know what? By that point, I'm practically,
there is somebody else who grows a beard slower, and that is me.
I don't know if there's anyone slower than you, but
it's a good thing you don't have one because it would hurt shaving right now with your sunburn.
Next up on What's Trending, you might have heard it during the break, but we want to promote our other shows as well. And here, Stephen A. Smith will join the drive today at 2:30. Binkley, he'll join the show, and I don't know, talk about how he admires Carrington Harrison, or maybe they'll just talk some NFL or NBA playoffs. If there's anything great coming out of that this afternoon, which I'm sure there will be, sure we'll discuss some on the show tomorrow, whether it's you or Alex. I don't know who's hosting tomorrow.
Did you see
it's a mystery?
How many of those clips from Friday's first take?
I saw one or two, but I gotta say, man, Skip looked old.
I did think the same thing.
Looking a little crypt keeper-y.
A little ghosty, you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Looked like he needed a slightly darker makeup tint or something. He was looking a bit ghastly.
I was talking to Mac about this, and it's gonna sound really weird. I didn't. You don't realize what you miss until it's gone, and then they're back in it, and it's like, you know what? I didn't mind it. Some of the clips, because you guys called it last week. You and Alex did, of course. They talked about the Cowboys. They talked about LeBron and the GOAT conversation and all those other things. And part of me was like, you know what? You were reminiscing a little bit. I'm not saying it should happen all the time, but it was like a blast from the past, almost in a way, where 10 years ago was the last time we got this, and it felt kind of refreshing to get that in a way. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought some of the clips, like Skip said, he was right about Tim Tebow and what he said about his whole career and everything like that in the NFL. Some of it was entertaining.
Why are we covering Tim Tebow?
Some of it was entertaining. Some of it was also like you're repeating old conversations from like the 2015, like the 2010s that don't mean anything now. But it was like a nostalgia sort of thing.
That format obviously worked for a while. They were some of the early innovators of the debate panel style show.
Yeah,
I still think Around the Horn and PTI and some of those really changed.
Those are the OGs. Yeah,
those really helped shape the way sports media was going and had kind of an argumentative style to it.
Yeah.
It just hadn't made its way to the big time panel shows yet. Lastly, we didn't get to it in What's Trending, but I do want to pass along that Missouri Tigers running back Ahmad Hardy was shot early Sunday morning at a concert. He's currently in stable condition, according to most reports. There aren't a lot of details about how it took place or what will come of it next. Obviously, they're just saying they think he'll still be able to play football, but also that's just like people making assumptions based on small amounts of information. I would not, if I were you or anybody, making assumptions about the optimism that he'll play or anything like that. I think Pete Thamel and everybody said, like, he's been shot. We'll see how he's doing in a couple of...
It's definitely shocking when you hear it.
Yeah.
Glad that he's in stable condition for sure.
I mean, he's one of the best running backs in college football.
Number 2 in the nation in rushing last year.
And it's a big deal down the road if we got to talk about Missouri not having him. But I don't want to, try to speculate or guess on any of that a day after he's been shot when we know almost nothing. But glad he's at least currently in stable condition after coming out of surgery. But Ahmad Hardy, the star running back for the Missouri Tigers, was shot early Sunday morning. We assume a Saturday night into Sunday morning at a concert, and is currently in stable condition, as they've said right now. So timeline for his return to football activities is unknown at this time. So we'll see what happens, obviously, with it down the road. Scary situation.
Very.
At the very least. Let's talk a little bit about the Royals, who end up finishing their homestand 4-3. And I mean, the simple question before we get to some of these other players is that enough? Are we satisfied with what happens? And honestly, I think I'd feel less satisfied if they weren't still just a game and a half back in the division. Because the 4-3 homestand still had them catching up some ground, and nobody went on some long winning streak. And they still have 3 more games against a divisional opponent in which they can win the series starting tomorrow. I'm good, Bink. I can take 4-3. I want to be more hateful because I felt like it should have been 5-2 after they won the first 2 games against the Guardians. But if you had told me a week ago 4-3, I'd have taken it. And I'm trying to use a little hindsight here that going into it, that was the opinion of the team that I had. My biggest concern is still they don't have enough bullpen depth. And Noah Cameron, has he had a single good start this season? Has Noah Cameron had one single start that looks as good as last year's? All the advanced analytics, it's like he's throwing from a different arm slot or the break on the pitches isn't quite the same. There's something different about him this year, and it's causing him problems from the 4 or 5 spot, but there's nothing you can do about it because you don't have the depth. I think it's the way people feel about Salvador Perez because he's still not hitting. But what are your choices if you move off of that? He's not catching nearly as much, Salvi, but he's also still not hitting.
I think if you look at the last 10-game stretch for these teams in the division, you know the Royals have more wins in the last 10 games than anybody else in the AL Central. Cleveland is not taking advantage of their situation. They're 5-5. The White Sox, 6-4 in their last 10. Then there's the Kansas City Royals, who lead the way, 7-3 in their last 10. Of course, if yesterday goes a different direction, they're sitting there 8-2 in their last 10, which you would take. But they're taking steps. They're taking steps forward. And the good news is you don't have to worry about the Rays in your division. You don't have somebody just sitting there with 26-13 right now. You don't have to worry about the NL Central. Every single team is above 500. Matter of fact, they're 3 games over 500. Every single team. Last place, Cincinnati Reds, 22-19, being in last place. They would be in first place in the AL Central. So just take advantage of where you're at. Somebody's going to go on a run. You know somebody's going to go on a 10-game winning streak. Or 8-game winning streak.
Yeah, I guess the question is, what's the argument that it's more likely to be the Royals than any of the other teams?
And we're already seeing teams make a move, like Cleveland made a move, catching-wise. So teams you can always make moves, and who's going to be the team that move? Because I'm telling you this, there are so many teams that are going to think they have a chance.
It is, I will say.
They legitimately do when you look at the records to make the playoffs. And teams are going to look, when they get to the trade deadline, as I say, it's going to be a mess this year because of all the teams that theoretically think they're still in it. And it's not wild pipe dreams because they actually are still in it when you get to the trade deadline. But who's going to be that big mover at the deadline?
I'm sure we'll ask JJ Piccolo this tomorrow as he joins the show every other Tuesday here on Cody and Gold. They still have a Salvi problem in the sense that not only has he's not catching as much, Diaz has been catching some, and Carter Jensen's been catching more. And we know that's not their normal plan or the way they like to do business. And it's putting a lot on Carter Jensen. And Salvador Perez, I'm assuming it's the injury, the reason why he's not catching as much. But when you get a lineup that has Salvador Perez, Elias Diaz, and Carter Jensen in it, there's no way to construct a lineup in which you have a lot of confidence in what they're going to do offensively, especially when Carter's been in more of a lull and Salvador Perez has been not good so far this year offensively. You run into an issue where you can't cover the offensive end. And this isn't to be a knock because I do think he can get a lot better and will get better with time. Carter Jensen has also been a little bit of a defensive liability. Because of that, Bink, it's like they still need some of these guys to come through. This homestand did teach me, though, that they can still, play with anyone in the division. Right? That's how I view it. They win this next series, or even if they go 1-2 in a lot of ways, I'll be mad if they
see the whole division play. The Royals are right there.
Yeah, but the reason why that Tigers won last night is that I thought they could just erase getting swept earlier in the year. And it would just be 3-3 on the season series. That's still the team I think is favored and should be favored to win the division. I would have given,
with all those injuries.
It would have felt good. I don't know. I haven't looked at the AL Central odds. What do you think it is? Right now, everybody's within 2.5 games of each other. And
Cleveland's the most
and not a single
stable
team is above 500. Yeah, they're 21 and 21.
Ramirez doesn't have his typical year. And you know how he goes, Cleveland goes. Cleveland's going to be right there towards the end. You know that. Who's going to be that other team racing? Is it going to be the Tigers? Is there anything about the Tigers that you saw that team and you're like, whoa? No, because you sit here Friday thinking, well, the Royals have a good chance to sweep the Detroit Tigers this weekend. The Twins are a mess, even though they're still technically right there and only 2.5 back. But you've seen this whole division. The Royals belong right there with anybody. Could be the best team in this division.
Very well.
There's not really an argument saying they're not the best team in this division.
Right now, the Guardians are favored, plus 180. The Tigers are right behind them, plus 210. And the Royals at plus 320. So, they don't think anybody is. It jumps pretty significantly after that. Plus 750 for the Twins, plus 1,700 for the White Sox.
I like the White Sox better than Twins.
Still the dog. Well, yeah, if you're going to let me bet one of the two, the White Sox might actually carry or continue the thing. And somebody's like, they're still sloppy. I don't disagree. That's the other part, right? It's on the left side of the infield, they're not. They have one error between Michael Garcia and Bobby Wood Jr. They turn double plays. They're just, at catcher, they're sloppy sometimes or make some mistakes. And they've made some mistakes in the outfield. And base running is probably where I would say they are sloppier. Defensive defensive runs saved. I don't think that they're all that bad, right? I'd have to look it up. Bobby Jr. is one of the best players in the league.
Do you think with Salvi's kind of injury and everything and switching the catching up so much will eventually start affecting the starting pitching?
Yes, I think it already is. Look, I don't know if that's the answer for Noah Cameron, but they haven't been quite as sharp. Now, look, Carter caught Walker the other day, and Walker was awesome. So I'm not even saying
Walker's just different.
Yeah, I'm not saying they can't call a game. I'm not saying that. But Salvador Perez obviously has a way with the coaching, with the pitching staff, and they got to figure out something on Noah Cameron. But with Bergert out and all these other guys injured, and Reagan's out for an undetermined amount of time, he's on the injured list, but we don't know how long that'll be for. Well, then you run into a problem where you're just going to need them to. Sometimes you need guys to be better, not to replace him. In this case, Salvador Perez just has to be better, or Noah Cameron just has to be better. Not that they need other players on the roster doing the job. They just simply need people to be better. And that kind of goes into where they are as a team. But I'm still not mad about the homestand. I don't know if you are, but like 4-3, I'll take. I'll take it. I will. A million times over, probably I'll take it.
They're still the best. See the best record in the AL Central at home, don't they? I think they still do.
I don't know.
Yeah, they've won 13 games at home. Detroit's number 2 at 12 wins. So they've still won the most games at home in the division.
You calling for a sweep?
No.
Against the White Sox on the road?
No, it's been different. The Royals, if the White Sox have beaten them, it's been in Chicago, not in Kansas City. But this is not the White Sox team you can go 10-3 against, 12-1 against, like you have the last 2 years. Just different.
They're
Their
not
power numbers.
America's booty call or whatever you called them, Bink?
No, I haven't called them that all year. I said we're not calling them that anymore.
Good for you.
No,
They're
seriously. They don't answer that call at 3 a.m. anymore. They don't answer it. The White Sox put you straight to voicemail at that point. They don't take that phone call. But I've said they have 30 more home runs right now than they did at this time last year. That's a significant jump in power.
I think that what's important over this series, and important to point out, is so the Royals just won 4 of 7 games. They went 4-3, and you feel disappointed because you felt like they should have gone 5-2. If they went 4-3 every 7 games for the rest of the season, they'd win 89 games. And so, this is what it's going to take. Now, I do think at some point they're going to have to go above that level for at least a stretch of games, because they're going to go below that level for some stretch of games too. Because the rest of their schedule this month, and I think that I've pointed this out, it's not like getting easier right now. They just face the divisional opponents, but the division's average. Then they got the Cardinals, who are off to a good start, the Red Sox, who have largely stunk, but then the Mariners and Yankees at home too. It's not like, it's not like an easy stretch, and the Yankees beat them to death and are the best team in the American League. And look, at least this time you'll get them home. But
it's for sure.
Yeah, they've been bad against the Yankees for 5 straight years. Can't tell you. Probably been 14-15 before they last played in that category. Jay Binkley's in for Alex, by the way. We know Alex will be back at some point this week, Bink.
Is he ready for 4K?
But we don't know when.
You set the over-under, I believe, last week, Cody, was Wednesday. And I said under. I felt like a Tuesday he'd be back, realized, dang, I don't know about this, and then be back on Friday or Thursday.
So you thought he'd come back, miss Wednesday.
I thought he would come back, realize, okay, this is a lot to be doing, and then I might have to take the next couple days off and then be back. But
what was he doing, that ball maxing thing?
Maybe, yeah. Looked maxing, and now he's had an extra day because he was trying to ball max. He's got.
That'll be a question for when he comes
I
back.
had Cody doing that last week.
I was just gone for last Thursday. I was gone for very normal reasons that I stated on the air. I was gone last Thursday, Drew, very last minute. So it didn't end up being me on the show.
It was just me, Drew.
Verna texted me. It was like, hey, because there was
he
an
was
interview
looking for my interview with Jack Caglione.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, no problem. I'll get with JT. He goes, crap, my bad. And I was like, oh, no worries. So I texted JT. I said, hey, Vern wants a Cags interview. He goes, yeah, okay, I'll get with Bink and see what he wants to do. I was like, I'm pretty sure Cody's going to be there too. He goes, oh, no, Cody took the day off. I was like, oh, okay, news to me. Great. Have fun. I'll talk to you later.
In fairness, I ended up having a friend come in town
Cody
from
phoned
Georgia
it in.
who I hadn't seen in a number of years. They were in very last minute. And I asked everybody. I asked Speck and Bink. I'm like, hey, is everyone okay if I try to spend some time with my friend in town? They said okay, and then I came back on Friday.
JT and I had a nice discussion.
What'd you guys talk about?
The Royals were going to have an afternoon game, so little Royals.
Yeah, little Royals, maybe some football.
Some cheese. I think we did hit the draft a little bit, too. The draft that happened in 26. We didn't look ahead to 27 yet.
You know, Alex said something last week that I think I've never heard someone say the opposite of in the male gender. I've been around, I work in sports radio, We all played sports growing up. We've all been around plenty of men in our life. I have never, every single man I've ever been near either says nothing or says what Alex said last week, which is, I have a high pain tolerance. Nobody ever wants to admit to a weak one or a medium one.
That is definitely a man thing. Yeah.
And this is not a specific knock on Alex. I've heard that from a million. Like, I think I've uttered it a number of times in my life. Like, I got, like,
you used professional last time.
Yeah. And look, I didn't think the hernia surgery hurt as bad as I thought. The doctor told me to be gone the number of days I was gone,
Well,
so I
that
was gone
sucks.
the number of days I was gone. I didn't think it hurt as bad as people were indicating it would, but that doesn't mean I have a high pain tolerance, and I don't think Alex should overlook pain tolerance in an effort to. He's hurt. He should miss work.
Bink is the logo for high pain tolerance.
Yeah. Or just ignoring it.
Yeah, that's another way to describe it.
Does it hurt Bink and you just like power through,
No, I
or
live
you
in pain,
just
so I'm just used to it. But I remember talking to Alex because people are sending him stories. So about success stories and stories that weren't a success. So it's like, man, don't worry this dude too much, man. Just
he was deep
tell him
into
it's
the
good.
internet archives.
I talked to him the night before and said, man, you got this, man. You got this. 100%. You got this. It's going to go smooth. It's going to. Yeah.
Do you think his voice actually is going to change a little bit?
No. I think it'll sound different for the next few days. He's got stents stuck up his nose.
Oh, he sounds like a baritone now.
Well, okay, I'm talking post, because there were some people were like, oh, your voice is actually going to sound a little bit different because you're
not as nasally.
Yeah. The sinuses will change.
It might. I don't know.
How you sound. I don't think it'll change that much, but we'll see.
I don't think I'll notice. How
Say
about
it's
that?
the microphones having a problem.
Sure.
By the way, we are up on video stream, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and
Running
Facebook. Live stream the show in 4K. Bink thinks that's why he's delaying his return. 4K cameras.
It does.
Recently surgically repaired face.
If you just had surgery in your face, I'm not sure the 4K. What I would suggest is just a camera on Drew, one on you, and let Alex kind of.
Let him
come
work
back.
You're saying he's off camera until
Can we put him in the shadows, like make him blurry, like he's one of those like speaking anonymous?
Move the camera and use that little bobblehead you use.
His voice will be different.
Have Alex in the bobblehead.
change the voice. I'm sure riveting radio it would be to see a blurry Alex Gold sound like an anonymous witness.
Yeah,
on First 48.
I'm sure people would love that as he returns to the radio at some point later this week.
It's made it more challenging now you have cameras in here.
Yeah,
they've always had. I mean, it
cameras for
doesn't
some time on this show.
It doesn't help, I guess, but
pre-cameras would have been fine.
Yeah.
You're not worried about gauze and blood. And
someone's.
I mean, maybe a little.
You don't worry about that crap.
Well, I wonder if Gold's going to feel this way. From the 816.
I've got busted for chewing.
Someone says you never turn your camera on, Drew. Can we see you?
Traditionally, I don't turn it on as nearly as often as Mac does.
Okay.
It might just be laziness on my part, I suppose, or also people don't want to tune. People don't want to look at me. I guess I don't know.
I don't know why not. They like to know what you look like.
Someone from the 816 said I had stents in their nostrils, and the removal, I kid you not, is not from me, from this person from the 816. Quote, orgasmic. The best ever.
You got something stuck up your nose for the better part.
And you get it taken out is
that's somebody
a
that
good
needs
feeling.
the
Apparently.
Max number.
I imagine it is quite the release of discomfort.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Your mom might want to see you, Drew. If you're on camera more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you put yourself on camera for like 1 minute? Just before we go to break, can we see what Drew Nixon looks like?
People want to see the sunburn.
Oh, it's
worse on his legs, I think, than his face.
It's not the Fesco and Dusty show. Let me take that off. Sorry, guys. It is our show.
Yeah, you gotta have the right.
I'm on the left now. It's a little bit different now. I get to move over to the side, and the camera tracks me too. This is kind of sick. Anyways, yeah.
Did you watch some NASCAR yesterday? Did you watch NASCAR yesterday, Drew?
Well, I was on not as much as I normally do. I was on a plane, which didn't help too much. But didn't sound like I missed too much. I did get
Gisbergen. Honestly,
I got destroyed.
As far as NASCAR is concerned, what Van Gisbergen did.
Yeah,
so he takes a pit. He makes up like 29 seconds within like 12 laps. Like it was serious domination. Like it was unbelievable.
I didn't, Cody. I would have been. I'll be honest. I did not expect NASCAR to be uttered in today's show.
No. Bink knows you though.
Well, in all fairness, I didn't expect ball maxing to be talked about.
That also
either.
was a good point.
Sometimes you got to talk other things on the show. When we come back, we won't talk about that. I will have a random question of the day for you. Plus, we got some things out on the NFL schedule. We'll tell you what next.
This is Cody and Gold. on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi, it's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Oh, the weather outside is beautiful. We are at a great point of the sports calendar. We just concluded with the draft. We got baseball going on. We got the playoffs going on right now in basketball and hockey. And you know what? Golf season is in full swing. And let me tell you that right now, all FanDuel customers can get two, not one, but two 30% profit boosts to use before the golf tournament begins this week. Use them on top finishes, top 5, top 10, top 20, and more. And back the golfers you think will be in the mix come Sunday, because in a tournament like this, it's not just about who wins, it's about who stays near the top. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started today and get two 30% boosts to use during the golf tournament this week. It's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is with non-withdrawable profit free token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? Call Jay Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all. Be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Need a new suit? This week only, Peter's Clothiers is taking half off all Jack Henry suits. Choose from a selection of colors, styles, and sizes at Peter's Clothiers. But hurry, this sale ends soon. Half off Jack Henry suits only at Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line Road.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back in here on Cody and Gold. Cody Tapp, Jay Binkley with you. Filling in for Alex today. Haven't heard from Alex today. Don't know how he's doing. We will have to see later in the day how Alex Gold is feeling. Maybe back tomorrow, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Gets his stents removed on Thursday or Wednesday. Somebody sent you a video of those getting removed?
Yeah.
Is it pretty awful?
Yeah, the gentleman we had up here with the radar gun a few years ago.
Oh, clocked us when we were throwing a baseball a couple years back.
We were throwing against the wall. Drew, you were part of that, weren't you? We were throwing against the wall.
I think it might have been Nick Schwartz.
Are you on
No,
your?
it was Nick because we joked he tried to murder a cop because he threw the baseball and it went kind of near the cop's general area.
It was very kind to come up there and trust us. I was surprised the trust level with us throwing against a brick wall.
I think it was like high 50s or low 60s maybe then. I can't even imagine. Can I touch 60 if I tried really hard? Seems unlikely.
I think they probably throw harder in Savannah Bananas games.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can't. I mean, I don't have any version of some velocity anymore, or any pretending that I do have any velocity at any stage in my life. But I'll keep trying. We'll radar it again. Or I'll go out to the little K where
Cody and I
somebody
found
bought
out
me a
when we
beer
went to
when
when you and I went to the K, we realized, man, the shoulders just aren't. The shoulder just doesn't have it anymore.
We went out there. It was probably 2 years ago. Bink. They invited partners of the Royals out there, and so Drew and I got to go out there and hit some BP on the field and play a little short or third base or some outfield. And so I, chased down some fly balls and chucked them back in. My arm hurt for a week. I didn't warm up. I didn't stretch. I just threw a baseball 60 times, and my arm hurt for a week. Mm-hmm. It was pretty bad. Before we talk about the NFL schedule release and some of the things we know, just briefly, they're out of the NBA. Multiple reports now that the Bucks are open for business as it relates to calls on Giannis. They will hear calls from any team. Drew and I were very briefly saying in the break, I guess I'm curious if both teams would do it. If right now the Washington Wizards said, we'll give you the number 1 overall pick, you give us Giannis.
And the report is that the Wizards are willing to listen to offers, too, for number 1, which is kind of crazy to me.
So, there's reports that the Wizards could trade number 1 and that the Bucks are willing to trade Giannis. If it was a 1-for-1, would both teams do it?
I think the Bucks.
Who's more likely to say no?
Probably Washington, but the Bucks would do it in a heartbeat because they know that Giannis is probably out the door anyway. So I think they would do it. The Wizards would probably, if somebody were to say no, it would be Washington.
Okay.
They'd go from one of the youngest rosters to not one of the oldest, but you'd bring in Giannis, who's 30 whatever, AD, who's 30 whatever, and Trae Young, who's either approaching 30 or he's there already. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I just like, but why not? Like, if you know you like, if I'm the Bucks, I do it in a millisecond.
Totally.
I'm going to lose this player anyway. I got a chance at another
And you
NBA
can get
superstar.
yeah, you can get anybody you want to.
I choose. If I think it's Darren Peterson, if I think it's DeBonsta, it doesn't matter who I think it is, but I get to choose the guy. I get to go after a star. I might immediately be able to replace my Giannis with another Giannis. But if I'm also the Wizards, did you see, Bink, you don't watch a ton of NBA, when they did the NBA draft lottery and they had AJ DeBonsta there, I hope you watched the video of the look on AJ DeBonsta's face.
Yeah, it didn't look
as he found out the Wizards won the draft lottery. He looked depressed.
Well, it's why Dante Moore went back to Oregon, because he didn't want to go to the Jets.
Yeah.
I could see in the NBA though. I could definitely see NBA and NBA players saying, "Nah, you can pick somebody else. I'm not going here." I did ask Spec, because Spec's a Wizards guy, who he would like to see, and he said AJ DeBonsta, Darius Acuff, or Caleb Wilson.
Boy, he's down on old Darren Peterson.
No DP.
No DP. He did not mention Cam Boozer. The Duke fan that he is as well kind of surprised me. But
yeah.
At this point, they might. It sounded like they're willing to listen to offers for number one, which I think is just insanity, given how good this draft class could be. I get why you might want to move back, but you can get the best player. Why not just stay where you're at?
Sure.
But-
Just and if you get a superstar, you get him for a number of years before you got to pay him, or you can get the return on it versus Giannis, who'd be older. Like, it just has too many benefits. I would just make the number one overall.
Some other teams with Giannis I saw mentioned, and it's the same teams. It's the Heat and it's the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
And the Warriors want to keep Steph there for his whole career, so the Golden State Warriors, it makes sense. If you're AJ DeBonsta, though, the Jazz are number 2. You went to we played prep ball at Utah.
How do you
went
convince
to
him
college
to do
in
Darren
Utah.
Peterson won?
I mean, yeah. If I'm DeBonsta, like, hey man, I want to go play at Utah, like that. Sign me up. That man would be a king already.
Salt Lake City hero.
Yeah.
At least based on that.
Let's
Let's talk
play
some
a game yet.
Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll get to the random question of the day. But let's talk a little about the NFL schedule. We pretty much know, Bink, at this point, a couple of things, as the schedules will slowly leak out later on Thursday, which is the first Sunday night football game will be Giants and Cowboys. Anybody feeling like hyped about that one? And that the
Giants actually have some nice pieces. It's actually that pass rush they put together.
It's just, I've seen a Giants Cowboys Sunday night football game, and I can watch it in week 7. I don't want it to open up the
Malik
season.
Neighbors. I mean, there's some talent to watch.
But Bink, on the poster, it's Dak Prescott and Jackson Dart. You can miss me with that in week 1.
Yeah.
I guess I don't mind that game as much.
I want it to be like Lamar and Josh Allen, like Sunday night football to open the NFL season. And you're telling me there's some rumors that I might get Cardinals Seahawks for game 1.
Maybe.
Can I get some primetime standalones with 2 teams I'm like dying to see? We got all these great games in an NFL slate. They don't all have to be at 3:25 on a Sunday.
You might see Chiefs Seahawks the night before Thanksgiving.
You might. We don't know much of the Chiefs schedule firm yet at all. There are some rumors about some potential days, including the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We've seen, it doesn't feel like they're going to get an international game. They've obviously missed out on the Australia game, which people thought might be a possibility for them. We do know there'll be 3 Christmas Day games, or 3 Christmas games, 2 Black Friday games.
If they get this one,
and one is on Christmas
they've got their
Eve.
wish. Because they've put a wish in for the NFL to be the Christmas Day
Yeah.
team. Done 3 in a row. If they get 4 in a row, it's pretty much a lock. They're going to be Christmas Day every single year.
I guess a lot of this is what are we hoping to see out of the NFL schedule later this week for all the NFL teams? And normally it would be I'd want a big week 1. I'd want a decent slate on Thanksgiving or any of the other holidays in which they're standalone ones. But it definitely feels like more than any other year, Bink, we are going to get the most non-Sunday and Monday games in NFL history.
You've got 9
Wednesday
international games, including Paris, Rio, a couple in London, 3 in London, Munich, and Madrid.
We're going to have 9 international games, 3 on Christmas Day, 2 on Black Friday.
Which is
2
not 100%
different-
confirmed, but it looks like it's going to be.
2 different Wednesday football games. Reportedly, the slate is 4 straight Saturdays or something like that.
Oh, and no more Monday
the NFL will
doubleheaders.
take place?
That's key. No more Monday doubleheaders.
I know.
Remember, they'd start one.
That's
you have
because
them
they wanted
kick
to sell more to the streaming rights partners.
Yes, that's right. So no
Which
more
I guess, I don't
doubleheaders
know.
on Monday.
Some of this is like, Bink, you've said before that you think the NFL draft is one of the biggest sporting events on the planet. Where do you rank the NFL schedule release among sporting events? Is it bigger than the Stanley Cup and NBA playoffs this week?
People can't really attend it, so it's a little bit different. It's not, I would say, an event. But
as far as talking points,
how are you having it on your TV on whatever day it is, Thursday?
Oh, there'll be a
Wednesday,
3-hour special.
I'll just wait for the graphic.
There'll be a 3-hour special, and I'll definitely watch all the teams or videos they put about their schedule releases because that's always a good time. It's actually quite fun that they put out those things to do it. I mean, not really an event, although it's talked about all week, who you're playing, when you're playing. It's definitely not like the NFL draft in those type of events. So not really, in quote, an event.
No, but
it's
it
more
is
of a
like
drawn-out thing.
It's funny, Drew, but like I also don't watch the Selection Sunday show. I just wait for the bracket. The TV networks, I don't watch any pregame. Like for NFL games, I don't turn on CBS at 11 o'clock. I don't turn on NFL Network at 10. I start watching football at 11:59 on Sundays. I start watching Sunday Night Football at 7:20. I don't even start it at 7:10 unless my teams are in a playoff game and there's additional coverage leading up to a playoff game. I don't catch any additional coverage. When the game starts is when I'm in. I don't know if I'm alone in that or if I'm rare in that. Do you guys watch pre-games anymore? I'm not going to watch a schedule
It's
release
on,
show.
but usually you're busy doing the Chiefs stuff or their game that day or whatever, looking at things. But it's definitely not a must-watch event like others. It's
I'm more like you, Cody,
background
now.
noise.
I'm more like you now.
I do enjoy the stuff during the week, like rewinding NFL Live, or that show Belichick was on last year, and looking back at the highlights of the games.
Cody, when's the last time you watched NFL Live?
Like the Mina Kimes afternoon show?
Laura Rutledge, all those guys.
I don't know. Never.
And gals.
Clips, I guess, would be like
Mina
I
Kimes,
catch
Rutledge,
clips.
Spears,
And I like multiple people on that show as NFL analyst. Never. I don't know. I mean,
I haven't watched it in a long
genuinely, it's like
long
I
time.
catch it for clips.
Did you watch the NFL draft live? They did that for an hour a day.
Saturday there's nothing on TV like that on Saturday, so I just had it as background noise for the most part. But
I watched on Thursday and Friday, but I was also actively in Pittsburgh. So
correct, that was different.
I'm not
the pregame shows aren't that fun anymore. There's not.
I don't. I will tune into pregame like game day. As much as I love college football, I will tune in. I'll be locked into game day at 10:30. Let me watch the last half hour, see him give all the picks.
Oh, I'm different. I'm start to finish on college game day.
You're waking up score at 8 in the morning and just watching all the way?
100%. I'm all in on college game
That seems to be.
I love that. That is the best pregame show out there. What they do.
It is the best pregame show.
The
I'll
atmosphere, everything you get. I'm 100% locked in.
I'll have it on, but I will not be. I will not pay attention to it until the last half hour.
It's only that and Inside the NBA that I think people watch regularly.
Inside the NBA, I will watch from front to back. Particularly the end, the back end of it.
But the back end's easier, right?
Yeah.
So I'm more likely to randomly catch Scott Van Pelt after a Monday Night Football game than I am any of the pregame coverage, or I'm more likely to catch Mina Kimes and some of those crew on the NFL Live set on the field during the game at halftime. I catch more Jason Kelsey live coverage at halftime of a game than I do any pregame. And look, the pregame on NBC Sunday Night Football stunk anyway. That's why they cleaned house, Bink. It was no good. It's why they brought in Tomlin and got rid of Garrett and whatever Collinsworth.
Well, the post-game shows and the highlights, especially if the Chiefs have lost, people melting down and losing their mind over the Chiefs just losing a game in the middle of regular season, or they lose the Buffalo Bills in the regular season. You know what you're going to see. You know what you're going to expect when you're watching it.
You know what game
They're going to talk about how bad the Chiefs are, how good the Bills are. They're the team to stop. It happens every single year, and I think a lot of people get tired of that.
If we knew the one banger that we could have after all this being announced of the games that we have, if we knew he was going to be healthy, would be week one, Monday night, Chiefs Bengals.
Chiefs Bengals, Chiefs Bills.
Yes.
There's a couple of them that would be juicy on a Monday.
Yeah, something like that. Or even if you wanted to go division, like Chiefs Broncos, something, I think there's a way to give a juicy matchup. I guess the only way that Cowboys Giants would be better, honestly. If Mike Tomlin was coach of the Cowboys, yes, please. Tomlin, Harbaugh rematch. Then we're talking a little bit more. But it's Brian Schottenheimer and John Harbaugh and Jackson Dart and Dak Prescott. It doesn't give off a Sunday night vibe for the season opener.
Yeah, it would kind of change the math a little bit. All right, Drew, let's get to it.
Random question.
For you, Bink. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, we live stream the show every single day now. We're back in 4K. So you can see our faces, I don't know, in high definition.
Except for Drew's.
Over on the chat. He'll put his face up here for the random question.
I am up for this.
He's up on the camera right now.
I'm right here.
So you can watch over there. So YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. I interact with the show over there or on the text line 913-586-7965 as we continue to talk about that stuff. Question I have today came up this weekend. I was cooking for Mother's Day, right? I made scratch macaroni and cheese, and I made some steak. And, we just did normal dinner. But my
so
daughter...
did I.
But my
Just kidding.
But my daughter helped me cook a portion of the meal, and it had me thinking about this. So I'll ask you guys because at some point we've all been probably at this level, which is I'm teaching my daughter to cook. I try to make sure my son's in the kitchen and all this other stuff, and I want them learning some of the normal household stuff that anyone would do. So what is the thing that you wish you had known how to do before you started living on your own that you wish you had been taught before, Drew? That's what I was thinking about. Is it cook? Is it to do laundry the right way? Is it, changing your furnace filter? I don't care. Just what's the thing you wish you had learned to do before you were living all on your own,
Cooking, number one.
Cooking. So you couldn't cook before
yes.
I couldn't cook some before I left the house.
I've tried many times.
We saw a couple. I remember that quesadilla photo you posted
terrible.
once. Drew, it looked like it had been
Almost
run
catch
over by a
on
truck
fire
after
and
being
everything.
caught on fire.
Oh, it's terrible.
It was pretty
Burn
rough.
things, almost catch things on fire. It's terrible.
So you just eat out?
Yeah, a lot. I can't cook, man. I just can't. I wish I could.
You just there's no teaching you.
It would have been helpful yesterday.
If I was the Spags of cooking, you don't think I could teach you to make a meal?
You might be able to.
I don't know. I'm not, but if
But I just know taking your mother out to Mother's Day was insane. The amount of people that people.
That's why we ate at home
all day.
We went to a couple of bookstores and did some stuff, but we certainly did not do that.
Well, you did the right thing.
So here's a couple of answers over on Twitch. Somebody said car stuff. They put the different word, but you get the point. Just how to change your oil, work on a car, or even just schedule an oil change. Sometimes it's not like you do those things on your own.
Change a tire out. Yeah,
I knew those things in high school, so that wasn't on my list. Somebody said taxes or save money, financial responsibility.
That's probably number one for me.
I wish there was a little more financial literacy.
I think, in fairness, they also should teach that in high school more than they do, but they don't. I think working on cars and financial responsibility are two good ones. It would be nice to know how to change the oil. I think it would be cool.
Have you ever done that? I used to change my oil, but I just don't. It's not worth the effort.
I've never done that before, and part of me, I think part of the reason why is the I don't know, the affinity that I have with cars and racing and stuff like that. You see the guys working on cars, man, I'd like to know how to do some of that. I think that would be kind of cool.
So in fairness,
get your hands dirty in a way.
This is I think the financial one is very big for me, as in I wish that was a portion of it. I wish I had spent even more time with around home handiness. I did some of that, but I had to learn more and more and more and more as I got older. I wish somebody would taught me about plumbing or electrical. I still wish I knew about those things.
Somebody mentions that on the text line.
I wish that stuff was around me. I can change a furnace filter or I can do some tiling, but some of that I had to learn in adulthood.
With the plumbing.
Some of it, but plumbing or electrical or some version of that, man, I wish I had that stuff. Laundry, I've been doing that since the 3rd grade. Fixing my car, I had cheap, broke-ass cars, Drew. I had a Chilton's manual and a used radiator, and the thing had to go in. So, some of that. But even so, as I've gotten older, it takes me so long to do car repair stuff because I'm just kind of slow at it. And they've made cars more complicated to work on. It's I could do some of it, and I don't even want to. I'm just going to pay someone to do this one. There are some tasks that just aren't worth the effort of doing them yourself, and that might be one of them.
Text line says to drive a stick shift.
I can still do that. Drove one last week.
I did too. I used to have them, but do they even make them much anymore? Is that really an option for people to buy stick shifts anymore?
So sometimes
a lot of kids don't know how they'll do it.
So the car that I had before I got in my accident, you could
paddle shift or something?
No, it wasn't paddle. So you'd park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then underneath drive there was an S. And if next to the drive, if you move the
mine
the
does
stick over a little over to the left, you could manually shift.
Mine does
It still gives you that option, I think, but it's not the traditional manual
Stick
only
shift.
transmission. Yeah. My mom knows how to stick shift. I never learned how to. I think it would be fun to.
I can teach you, Drew. Another father-son moment for us.
So
let me teach you how to drive a stick.
So
I taught him how to slay my beer.
So I've got a racing wheel, and I'll do manual. Like I'll do the paddle shifting.
From the 913, someone says, Cody, hang out with me for a day. I can teach you plumbing. Like I'm just going to follow a plumber around for an entire day. I just don't want to cause like a giant water issue.
That would be interesting if you took off the show. And you know what? I'm going to work, but I'm doing different kind of work.
Lance says to sew. That's another one. I wish I was better at sewing.
I
can use the sewing machine and the needle and thread, but I'm slow.
You know what's worse is when you're
slow.
When buttons come off.
Huh? I can do that. I can do a button.
I can't. I can't do
but
buttons.
That's kind of like maximum. I used to be able to like operate and use more frequently a sewing machine because like we did, like not shocking. I was in like plays in high school. We made our own costumes. And I would sit on a sewing machine and like put them together.
Make your own costume.
But it's like cool. I'm way too far out of the game.
I always had to ask somebody, hey,
so
you know how to do a button?
It does feel. Somebody mentioned woodwork, and I think this is something that when I finally own a house, I think I would like to. It's like the side hobby, like when Carrington learned how to sew, like learning something new. I think this question fits into that category of finding something handy to do that not necessarily becomes a hobby, but it's something that you learn how to do that can be extremely useful, save you some money, allow you to get creative, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Someone is inviting you to come work on sprinklers.
Honestly, somebody says MCC offers trade courses. Just go like take one for a couple $100 and learn how to do it. I'd love to be able to do like more base car or like if they had a class at MCC or JCCC where like the class was like the old 90s sitcom Bink and they just had like a shell of a car out and it was your job to like change spark plugs or swap out a water heater or like water heater, change out like a water pump or those things. I'd be all for it. I wish like I had a water heater go out in my house and like that's the level like I can change out a door. I can do some like I'll change out ceiling fans or light switches or I can lay flooring or tile. I tore my backsplash. I could do like some stuff. But I wouldn't trust myself to install a tankless water heater. But it'd save me $2,500 or something.
100%.
If I could. So like, I wish I could. If they had a class where it's just like, here's what we're gonna teach you how to install this, I'd be like, yes.
Someone does make a good point. You can learn almost anything on YouTube now. You probably could.
Oh, I watched some of that stuff on YouTube. That's how I learned a lot of that stuff.
I've done a ton of stuff on YouTube.
Someone said suggesting that I buy a house with an unfinished basement and learn how to finish it yourself. That would be something that I think genuinely, like taking pride in something like that would be very cool. Like I think even along the lines of the plumbing stuff, Cody, I didn't have to hire anybody to do it because I knew how to do it myself.
Yeah,
and
nice.
Doing that is actually it's kind of a unique flex, I suppose.
I thought we got more people to just say cook and laundry, but I guess that was only Binkley's answer.
Laundry is a funny answer.
But you know what though? It's incredibly embarrassing. Like you have a button. And you ask your friend or your friend's wife.
Yeah.
You say, I hate to ask this, but do you know how to do a button? And you bring it in and say, do you mind putting this back on for me? And you have to ask people to do it.
Even if you don't.
That's the worst thing.
But I can teach you to do a button, Bink.
But
if you can get if you can get the thread and the needle, we can get you to sew.
You know, I've actually brought something into the station at one point.
And had Carrington fix it?
I don't know. It wasn't Carrington. I forgot who it was, but it was like a hole in something. Or I brought it in the station because I figured somebody here would know how to do it. Because I certainly didn't.
We're going to teach Bink to sew. That'll be our 2026 goal. Teach someone to sew.
Instead of doing the dip, you're going to be over there sewing in the middle of a take. The Chiefs should have drafted a wide receiver. Meanwhile, you're putting together something. An oven mitt.
Yeah, exactly. That's the random question today. When we come back, we'll talk more about Bobby Wood Jr. and his fit here in Kansas City. But also, there was a signing, and a couple of people have asked about it. The Chargers have added a tight end. What do we think about what that does for them next?
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Is your garage door too loud and whining for help? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City will make it all better. They will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City at 816-221-0072 or schedule online at overheaddoorkc.com.
Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the Hai Chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase. 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
At Telly Tire, when it comes to car problems, we've heard it all. From tires to timing belts to faulty air conditioning. Ooh. At Telly Tire and Auto Centers, we've been fixing problems like these and customers' bad days for over 80 years. So relax and take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circus Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circus Sports has you covered. Download the Circus Sports app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
As you prepare for your Memorial Day gathering, be sure to visit your local grocery store for Gates sauces and seasonings. Both are great on meats, fish, chicken, broccoli, spinach, hot buttered popcorn, and as a topping for your dips, or sprinkle Gates seasoning on chips and nuts for that extra flavor pop. Also, be sure to pick up a Gates party tray for celebration at the station. However you plan to celebrate, be sure to head to Gates Barbecue this Memorial Day. Gates Barbecue. Thanks with love.
Lunch was great, but this traffic is awful.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey guys, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. We're excited to launch Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks. This is about Kansas City, not about soccer. Telling the story of how our town ended up hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, plus video clips on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
Subscribe to Beyond the Pitch KC on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stephen A. Smith joins CDOT Monday at 2:30 right here on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Final hour of the show here. Cody and Gold, Cody Tapp, Jay Binkley, Drew Nixon with you. Catch us over on the video stream as we are back up and running. Video stream was down for a few days as we transitioned over to our fancier cameras. Now we're up in 1080, 4K. They look good. I will say, Drew, crystal clear visuals.
You see the pores on our the pores on our faces, I guess, which is probably too much.
Yeah,
but
I got a haircut. I got glasses again.
That's a good time to have the camera change.
That wasn't planned around the camera change. I just needed a haircut and was waiting for my glasses to come back, but does feel right. Does feel right.
When'd you get them? They come this weekend?
Yeah, they came on Friday night.
Oh, really?
Right before I went out to dinner with my wife, I got my new glasses, which was nice. Bink, I will say, so over on Twitch, Legend of Sack says, I can see Bink chewing, right? I can see him taking a dip. Bink said that the one real downside to the video stream is it's outed him in dating scenarios.
Yeah, that's the funniest part.
He says that he has said that he doesn't dip. Somebody catches him dipping on camera and then, busted. Why are you lying about it if you do it anyway? How long do you think you can keep that lie?
I don't anymore, so.
Oh, okay.
Good for you for telling the truth.
You have to, because it was early on with you guys, because I kept forgetting you guys had the camera, because you guys are the only ones using it. And so when you'd be in here on this show, the cameras would get
Bink's blaming the show now, Cody.
What's that?
I said you're blaming the show. You're blaming the show because you said
this
now
show
and now
wanted
on this
cameras for a
show.
long
Well, you guys were the only ones doing cameras.
Yeah.
So there was no hiding anything around you all.
I will say, this step up in camera quality, as somebody who occasionally has complained about the setup that we set up a billion years ago and crowdfunded by going to bars and guest bartending and a million other things, I appreciate Old Odyssey Incorporated today because these cameras are sick. They are nicer than the original ones we bought for $400 a piece. Matter of fact, they're more than triple that original cost, and hopefully that'll solve a lot of our issues. Now that we got
I don't think you want to take these up to camp.
big cameras. What's that?
Don't think you want to take these up to camp.
No, they won't be taking them up to camp.
No, these are staying
plain,
here.
plain and simple.
Good.
The Mimo ones might come up to camp if we're trying to still live stream where you can see us.
That can work for sure.
But, you got to make sure that, we're looking our best now all of a sudden. Got to take care of your skin, Drew. Got to make sure you don't have some sunburn.
You can't be. I've already.
Alex's first time in 4K on this show is going to be post facial surgery. It's going to be a challenge.
That's the one thing. That's going to be real close up with Alex.
You and Bink are the only ones put together for this. I'm toasted, and Gold is going to be recovering.
Yeah.
Was that with Gold that one day that the one of the news stations came in? There was some topic in Kansas City going on, and they were showing the show because you guys had the cameras going, but for some reason mine was just frozen still. The entire show, it was still split screen. Like Alex was talking and all this.
Yeah, probably.
And then I was just like frozen still. It was great.
Now it might be quality enough that if they wanted a clip for TV, maybe we could share it with them.
Bink, if you wanted to get up and leave, the camera would follow you right now. Like if you wanted to get up and move, the camera, you would not be able to avoid the camera.
Well, it doesn't have legs, Drew.
Dude, these cameras are $1,300 a piece.
Does it move when I go?
We got to take care of these.
Look.
Yeah, it's tracking
that's
you.
what I'm telling you. It's
How
moving.
far can Bink get?
It's tracking me.
It's tracking your every movement. The AI tracking is important.
It's watching me.
Show people how these cameras work, We will try to bring up the old cameras for a live stream up at camp. If we can make it work, we'll certainly give it a shot. Let's talk a little bit about the division for just a minute, and then we'll move on to Bobby Wood Jr. and his fit here in Kansas City so we can talk about whether or not that's there. But I did get asked a couple times about David Njoku signs a 1-year, $8 million deal with the Chargers. I guess twofold. They're asking, does this make them significantly better? One, and two, is that a move you would have made if you were a Chiefs fan? No, I wouldn't have made it if I was a Chiefs fan, believe it or not. I am seeking bigger fish down the road in the tight end market. Not a 1-year deal for $8 million for Njoku. I'll make Kelsey and Noah Gray work for this season. Do I think it makes the Chargers significantly better? No. But do I think that they needed additional weapons to throw to inside their offense in a new Mike McDaniel offense? And do I think that they're trying to copy some of the success the Chargers had? Yes. Or not the Chargers. The Rams had? Yes. I think they look at their LA counterpart, Bink, and they say, we could run a 2 tight end system in which you can run the ball with Amari Hampton.
More teams are doing 12 and 13 personnel.
And Njoku will strengthen us in a way that we weren't already set up to. Because Gatson had a nice year. Now they have Gatson and Njoku, and they think they can build it that way because their wide receivers still have very serious questions.
Yeah, with Quinn Johnson, Ladd McConkey. You look at that offense, yeah, Kamani Vidal, running back, Amari Hampton, obviously, starting running back. They're loaded, and that line's good as long as it stays healthy. That's the big question. That's the problem they have. That's the Chargers' MO, though. They always look good, and they always get hurt going down the stretch. But wide receiver is their weakest position at this point, you'd have to say. It's not really scary. Those wide receivers don't scare. I know they have Brendan Thompson from the draft. It's like a 4.26 guy.
They're incredibly average.
But here's the thing. He's a 4.26 guy they drafted, Brendan Thompson out of Mississippi State. But he's 164 pounds.
The room feels like the Packers in a way. I know the Ladd was a first-round pick, Quinn Johnson first-round pick, but from the standpoint of they don't have an it guy, they've got some really good players.
Role players.
Yeah, role guys. It feels like the Green Bay Packers situation where the room's not the worst, but the room is definitely not the best. And Ladd McConkey is good. Quentin Johnson had a really good year. Brendan Thompson, we don't know, but it doesn't feel like they've got like that true, pure number one wide receiver. In a way, you can almost say the Chiefs are kind of like that, but I would say I would take the. I don't know. Would you take the Chiefs wide receiver room or Chiefs wide receiver room over the Chargers?
Yes,
I would.
Yeah, and I don't say that about every room in the league, right? But certainly theirs. We've looked at the division. They have the best wide receiver unit in the division.
Well, it's one of those things where you look at Denver's draft and the Chargers. Leave the Raiders out of this question, but at this point, nothing scares you. Like this draft, in free agency, I would legitimately be worried if the Chargers got a true number one receiver. Like if they got a true number one receiver, because Keenan Allen went in there and he was great for him last year, and he shouldn't have been.
Is he still a free agent
at that age? Yes, he's.
You want him again in Kansas City this year?
Last year was a little bit different. It's got another year of wear and tear on it, but. If they had a number one true wide receiver, if they would have ended up with Jalen Waddle, with Justin Herbert, I like that situation a lot better than with Bo Nix.
Might talk more about them later in the week.
Like the Chargers would be pretty scary with the number one receiver.
Yeah, certainly would be. Let's talk a little Royals baseball as they're off today. Start a 3-game set against the White Sox starting tomorrow. Obviously, all those games can be heard here, right here on 96.5 The Fan. As a reminder, coming up in 90 minutes at 2:30, Stephen A. will join Carrington live on his show during the drive. So make sure you tune in for that as well. But I was listening to Bobby Wood Jr. in postgame. He's talking about his inside the park home run. Fun couple of games on Friday and Saturday.
You may ask about that dive.
Friday was the come from behind victory. Kyle Isbell, the hero. Bobby Wood Jr. starts off on Saturdays, getting inside the park home runs. Fun stuff, right?
The electric dive.
Yeah.
Arms
it
extended.
It might very well end up being a bobblehead for this team one day.
Should be.
So, although he already has one where he's sliding like that, so maybe they don't need another.
It's his patented slide.
But when you look at it, I was thinking more about Bobby Wood Jr. as a personality. And in postgame, he's just like, want to play, love to fight, know to run fast, short, quick. Seems like he'd rather be he just wants to play baseball, I guess is the point. And if it seems like he's so businesslike, so medium in tone and tenor and attitude, it's what makes him a great baseball player. He's having quietly, I think somehow, to national standards, another insane season. You know that Bobby Wood Jr., the year that he finished second in the MVP, he finished with a 9.2 B WAR. Do you know how rare that is in baseball history? It's rare. It's not common. He would normally win an MVP in any of those years. He is on pace this year to have 11. He's on pace to be a better baseball player than he was 2 years ago when he was awesome.
And straight WAR, he leads Major League Baseball.
But I think he's made for Kansas City. And my only fear about losing Bobby Wood Jr. down the road is they don't prove to him that they can win. We've lost a lot of athletes in Kansas City because they want to win. Zach Greinke, Tony Gonzalez, Those are guys who left because they wanted to win, not because the money was better or they wanted to play in a different city. I don't think Bobby would enjoy playing in New York or LA or San Diego as much as he would enjoy playing in Kansas City. I think this is the right kind of market for him in the sense that I think it fits his personality. I think he enjoys it. I think he likes the kind of city he gets to be in. The key is, can we win enough to convince Bobby that he doesn't have to go to greener pastures in order to win divisions, win championships, win playoff series? Because I do think that matters to Bobby Bink.
No, I think it does. The good news is, and the best thing for this development of this team is, they've proven they can get to the postseason. Like, if that didn't happen at all, yeah, those questions start to mount. But 2 years ago when they did make the postseason, they believed in it. Because of them, they got there. Because of Bobby Witt Jr., they got there. So Vinny, Sal Perez saw the second grouping of Royals to make the postseason. But he knows they've done it. You see these guys walking around there. He sees those guys walking around all the time. Moose, Hosmer's around there all the time, of course, because he does some of the broadcasting. But that group of guys actually got the Royals to the postseason and won a World Series, proving that you could do it in Kansas City. And I think that was huge. I think that 2015 team was so important kind of for the future of the Kansas City Royals to prove that you can do it here. You can do it in the new age of Major League Baseball, because in 1985 through 89, the Royals were the highest spending team in Major League Baseball. So he said, well, he went out and spent the money. They got, I think, because the Royals did spend money in 1985 relative to what the other teams are spending. Again, the highest payroll in baseball in 88 and 89, and proved they could do it. But then you go on that long stretch. But then you win it in 15, and you proved you can win in a small market. At that point, the TV contract was just $20 million a year, which is one of the worst in Major League Baseball.
Oh, it's a joke.
Having that money, and they still
Still
won
not
the
good because Major League Baseball took it over.
But the back-to-back World Series, the Game 7 and 14, winning it all in 2015, they proved they could do it here. And I think for Bobby and Vinny and those guys, the fact that they've been to the postseason, the fact that they've proven they could do it, has got to help kind of drive those guys. Be the grouping of guys that once again takes Kansas City to the postseason. It's more satisfying doing it here, I think, than other places, because we're not used to doing it very many times.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of special when a team makes the postseason in baseball in Kansas City.
But it's also like Bobby's not going to want to make it feel like it's special. You and I feel that way, Bink, but like let's go back to the division a little bit. Right now in the AL Central, the best team is 21 and 21. On average, to win this division, you got to win like 89 games. No one's asking for the world. They're asking you to finish a few games above
the perfect
500.
division. The perfect division.
You should be able to either spend your way into winning the division every year, so just spend a little bit more than your competitors, or draft and develop your way into winning the division at least some of the time, Bink. There's also 6 playoff teams now. A decent chunk of half of Major League Baseball makes the playoffs. Not quite. Still lower than the NFL, still lower than some other leagues, percentage-wise. But it's still enough. And their lack of consistency over the years, this is like look, it's far too early, and I would never say anything like this early. But I really hope, because we just saw this not happen with Mahomes and is continuing to not happen with Mahomes. I desperately do not want them, because this happened a lot in baseball for the Royals, want to get through this run with Bobby Witt Jr. and then find myself asking the questions like, how did you not win with that guy? The way I mock...
You mean like Angels would say with Trout?
I was about to say, the exact same way I've mocked the Angels with Trout. Or other... They had Trout and Shohei Ohtani and did not win a playoff game. Bobby Witt Jr. right now is hitting .302 with a .372 on-base percentage. He leads Major League Baseball in WAR. He has 11 doubles. He's up to 5 homers. He has 12 stolen bases. He is the best player, or one of the best players in the sport. And so, like, I can't go through his career and then wonder, how the hell did you not win with that guy? Because this should be the easiest player to win around management. Now, he's been incredible the last 3 weeks. Oh, shocker, Bink. They're 11 and 5 during that time. But they got to be able to win even if he's in like a normal stretch of baseball, not an all-world level of baseball, which is what he's doing currently. You had told me, and it's not wrong, he's consistently underrated because he's great at everything, but he's not, I think, the best at anything other than maybe defensive shortstop.
He's one of those guys that every single team would put on their team.
Yeah.
Without any question. And you do it with other guys that are kind of the people are talking about them. And last year was kind of funny because I sat back and looked at it with Bobby just doing his things, of course, finishing 4th MVP. But Jack, everybody's talking about Jack down in the minor leagues, hitting home runs, AAA and a AA, and when's he going to come to Kansas City? And everybody's so excited. It's like, well, you already have one of the true stars in baseball, already playing for you every single night in Bobby Witt Jr. And I do think if you ask 10 random people that aren't hardcore Chiefs fans, who's your favorite Chief, Patrick Mahomes comes up 8 to 9 times out of 10. But you ask 10 Royals fans that aren't exactly locked into the season, you're probably going to get a lot of Sal Perez still.
But they know the best player is.
I know it's the best player, the most unassuming best player, which is great because it's perfect for Bobby Witt Jr. and his personality because he can go on being the best at what he is, which is, in my opinion, the best player in Major League Baseball, and he can do these things and doesn't have that outside pressure of the fan base or anything because, again, I think there's a lot of youth and stuff that like
I don't
Bobby
think
Witt
he's
Jr.
anti the pressure, but it's just like it is nice sometimes to live in a city in which you can still go out to dinner and TMZ doesn't follow.
Well, he's the biggest star. He's one of the biggest stars in sports that's not recognized in other markets.
Yeah, but that's also baseball
And
players.
I know baseball's trying their best. Like if you've ever seen,
He can throw a hat on and walk down the streets of New York.
like
and most
MLB
people
Network
notice.
does a show on Saturday mornings, and Bobby has a weekly segment, like This Week in Baseball or whatever, and there's always a segment with Bobby Witt Jr. So I know they've tried to, put that in.
And he's a huge
Your
figurehead of the
Wittison
play ball
that
and
you
the
guys
Wittison
did.
stuff.
Yeah, the play ball stuff. So they've done a better job of marketing him and putting him out there. And I think being on Team USA definitely helped his Q rating, where a lot of people, got to see Bobby Witt Jr. and all the great things that he can do. That definitely helped out. But he's not going to get those big marketing deals, with State Farm. You're not going to see him on a
He
State
would if he
Farm
was in New
program.
York, though.
Maybe.
He's got Whataburger.
But it's like perfect for him. This is like the perfect spot for Bobby Witt Jr.
I just hope
for his
that
personality. It's like to be the player that he is, the best in the sport, in my opinion, and be able just to go out and do it when other people are talking about other people. Other people are talking about other players. And you get to watch this guy every single night. It's kind of like the Chiefs, 7 straight AFC title games. It's like, don't take this for granted. What you're seeing now is uncommon. Don't get used to this. This town went 22 years without winning a playoff game. Don't get used to the success we're seeing. And we're seeing a guy like Bobby Witt Jr. finish 4th and 2nd in MVP voting the last 2 years. And you kind of take it for granted just because of how damn good and consistent he is.
Bink, I want to ask you a question about the upcoming team as it relates to the Chiefs and whatnot, which I guess is somewhat related to the idea of the player that I want to talk about, which is Alohi Gilman we spoke about earlier. Who's the Chiefs' free agent? Like the guy they added, you're most excited to see on the team. They didn't add a ton, but they certainly added not nobody.
I mean, Ken Walker would be first.
Okay, but who's 2?
Alohi Gilman.
Is it Alohi?
I just want to see because of what he plays. Being that quarterback of the secondary, you get the young corners and Delane, and you get a second year of Noel Williams, and just kind of quarterbacking that secondary. How good can this defense be with somebody back there you completely trust? And he'll be needed because Delane's going to be good, but you are going to be a rookie in the NFL. Can Alohi Gilman do that support? Can he be that guy out there for this team? He had 90 tackles last season in the NFL. He knows this division well because he used to play for the Chargers all those years. So I would say Gilman would be number 2.
So, like, that to me is
and
like...
Of course, Tonga, guys like that, because you're going to see him in the backfield once in a while. That's a fun guy to have. But Gilman, for sure.
Like, a lot of this goes back into what we were talking about before, which is I just think that if you look at the type of player he is, I don't feel like I'm as excited about him as I have been other safeties they have brought in. And I was trying to figure out why. Maybe
it's
safety
because, for one thing.
Yeah, but also, like, maybe it's because their bigger additions are... their bigger additions are coming from the from the draft. Maybe it's because the defense has not really been the problem for a decent chunk of it. But there is something there, Bink, that is making me question whether or not we're right. I should be more excited about Gilman, that he's going to play a bigger factor in the defense. Because what would you say, other than the defensive line, what would you say their number one issue was on defense last year?
Getting to the quarterback?
Yeah, well, but I guess I'm lumping that in with defensive line. So, like, outside of getting to the quarterback, I thought it was 3rd and 4th down defense. Well, I thought they struggled getting off the field. And look, those are related.
Here's the one thing. 3rd down defense was atrocious. 4th down defense, they're actually number 1.
That's weird.
They typically yielded a first down when teams would go for it on 4th down. Get this. It was like a clip of 56%. They shaved it down to 27%. They were that good on 4th down, and the attempts were way down, where teams just automatically go for it on 4th down like they used to do against the Chiefs. But the Chiefs ended up number 1 in the NFL on 4th down defense. 3rd down, much different story, but on 4th down, they were very good.
I guess, yeah, certainly that's at least a portion of it. But at the same time, think they got beat on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15 all day.
Oh, it's frustrating. You have them exactly where you want to get a first down.
They need a safety who can guard somebody. They need a safety who can play in the secondary. Gilman should provide them some better depth in that category. Maybe Hicks just being better, but that goes back to the conversation we were having earlier, Drew. We were talking about players you trust. Is there was part of Jaden Hicks they didn't trust last year. I'm not sure what it was, but I thought he would have a bigger role than he ended up having last year. And they ended up being a top 5 defense points per game wise. So it's not like I can argue against what they were doing successfully, but their inability to get off the field made their life harder in defense. Or in offense. Where do you think they started? Like average field position, they had to be bottom of the league. Between all the holding calls on special teams and the spot, the defense on the last one put them in, average starting field position, I would guess they were one of the worst in the league, don't you?
Yeah, it was rough, especially the penalties on special teams. Every big play came back.
Somebody in the text line earlier said, they said Tonga, by the way, were a couple of the answers and all this other stuff. Somebody on the text line said, does everybody on the station think that the Chiefs are going to win 6 games? It feels like it's been very negative in the offseason. Now, I'll say, from an offseason perspective, it's easier to be negative when a team's coming off of a 6-win season, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. No arguments there. Makes sense.
I don't think you're really being negative. You just have expectations now because the Chiefs.
Well, my expectations are a little bit different.
Expectations.
Well, and my expectations are a little bit different for this year's team because of what they did last year. Sure. When I went into every year for years and years and said, hey, Cody, what's your expectation this year? I don't know. They'll go to the AFC Championship game and 50-50 shot to win the Super Bowl. I don't think I can reasonably say that going into the season for the Chiefs this year, Bink, because how can I believe that when 30% of the defensive roster is changing and the offense is different because they got Ken Walker, but in a lot of the other positions is the same. They changed offensive coordinators, but back to the old one. It's the same coaching staff. Maybe not the Chad O'Shea's of the world, but the same like offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach, scheme, wide receivers, tight ends. Ken Walker is not nothing. I don't want to pretend like that's not an addition. But it's like, it is tough to like go in here and be like, I think they're right back to 11 or 12 wins because they just win more one-score games.
Not a whole bunch of game changers through the draft or free agency, just solid players through the draft. Tonga is interesting. Someone said they like Tonga. I like Tonga too, but let's be honest with them about Tonga.
You're never going to notice him doing a good job.
Tonga's been in the league since 2021.
He has like 5 sacks maybe?
You know how many teams he's been on with Chiefs counting since 2021? Can you guess how many teams
3?
he's on? 6. The Chiefs are a 6 team since 2021. So let's not get crazy. This guy's going to change the world again. 6 teams since 2021. 6?
What?
He was drafted by the Bears
almost a little
in the
concerning,
7th
to be honest
round.
with you, actually.
Then the Falcons, then the Vikings, then the Cardinals, then
Hanging
the
him in his
Patriots, then the
peak,
Chiefs.
that's for sure.
So he's been on 6 teams since 2021.
I think it's really interesting.
And we're only in 26.
The whole Alohi Gilman thing is interesting because I think, if you go and you look, okay, he's a safety, can he be Brian Cook? I don't think any of us
play the same safety position, but just as effective.
Yeah, I don't think any of us agree that he's better than Brian Cook, or I don't even think he's as good as Brian Cook. But if you're curious, okay, what defenses has he played on and where have they ranked? He was on the Ravens last year, a bulk of the year.
They were awful.
They were 3rd to last in passing yards allowed per game. He's a safety, so I think this is relevant. In 2024, he was on the Chargers. They were in the top 10 in passing yards allowed per game. Okay.
That's a real dichotomy, but sure.
In 2023, he was on the Chargers. They were 3rd last in passing yards allowed per game. In 2022, which I believe was 23 was his best season, and they stunk. 2022, they were top 10 in passing yards allowed per game. In 2021, the Chargers were in the upper half of the league. Point being, I don't know if, not that he's not reliable, but it felt like Brian Cook was a reliable player mainly from the standpoint of that man's not missing a tackle. And I don't know what the whole I don't know if Alohi Gilman is known for missing tackles, if he's really solid at making tackles and completing them, but it feels like Brian Cook could give you a level of expectation of this guy, 1, is going to be where he's supposed to be, and 2, he's not going to miss tackles, and you're not going to get very many big plays because Brian Cook is a part of things over the top.
Yeah.
I do wonder if there's any level of concern based on 2 of the last 3 years or 3 of the last 2 of the last 4 years. He's been on defenses where the pass defense has been really, really bad.
Well, the one thing about him, too, is the Ravens' defense, pass defense, was the worst in the league 2 years ago, almost the worst. It did improve. Like, their defense did get better as the season progressed. That's when they traded for Gilman. He was a member of the Chargers. The Ravens traded for him. He comes over there in that secondary with Kyle Hamilton, and they did improve when he got there.
I've also seen 10 players over the last 5 years come to Kansas City and be better on defense, and I've seen like 0 leave and be better.
So do you think just alone him being a part of the defense with Spags, he's going to be as good, if not better than what he has been?
I think there's some teams underutilizing, a lot of these defensive players are at least not getting the most out of them.
I don't think it'll be exponentially better than Cook.
No, but I'll take as good as. When we come back, we'll get to another What's Trending and talk a little bit about, what's going on across the league. Plus, a little bit on the Royals outfield production as well. That's next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
If you've been putting off some much-needed painting, don't wait any longer. Call CertaPro Painters now. They'll provide a free estimate quickly and at the right price, and you never have to wonder what's next. They provide reliable communication and updates because they know how important your home is to you. Take advantage of CertaPro's spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects before May 15th. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi?
And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that leads to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Fanatics Sportsbook is turning up the heat with squad bets. Available across NBA, MLB, and NHL. Just tap into the Fanatics Sportsbook app and build your custom squad by combining player stats into a winning bet. Pick a market, points, rebounds, assists, strikeouts, goals, and set your target. And here's what makes squad bets different. We all know one bad game can sink an entire parlay. Not anymore. With squad bets, when one player slips, another can step up. One player can't bust your parlay. Your bet stays alive all the way to the very end. Track it live. Cash out whenever you want. Squad bets. Only on Fanatics Sportsbook. Parlays hit different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
At Metal by the Foot, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality metal to meet your exact needs. Located in Casey and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. First up on What's Trending, the Royals finished their homestand 4-3, set 3 games below 500, a game and a half out of the AL Central after their loss last night to the Detroit Tigers. Did get to a 3 over the weekend in the series, though. Off today, start up a series against the White Sox tomorrow. I don't remember who's pitching tomorrow. Let's see.
Yeah, the Royals and White Sox series actually matters now.
Yeah, White Sox are still ahead of them in the standings by a half a game, which means depending on which version of it they're on, it'll
See, it should be.
I guess Bubic,
Kolick, and Lugo.
It would actually be,
and then Bubic.
Okay. So decent
the
turn of
three.
the rotation, depending on what you get out of Stephen Kolek. Certainly 2 other guys who are getting the job done for the Royals, but they finished this the home series.
I was hoping for the sweep.
4-3.
I told you a sweep on Friday. Didn't
Close.
happen. I thought it was going to happen when they came
Close.
back 3 down. But they have won 7 games in their last 10, which is more than anybody else in the division. So, yes, rough weekend, but 7-3 in the last 10. That's big. The first Sunday night football game will be the Giants and the Cowboys. Fox will also have the first NFL triple header after picking up a game in Munich. It just came out that NBC Sports will have 26 games this year. People are starting to leak. So it sounds like when you see all these leaks from MyRob and stuff that cover the NFL, that they've got the situation handled with who's going to have how many games.
Yeah, they seem
and
to
then
have
where
that
to put them. So now the next step, obviously, you'll start seeing these games.
There'll be a lot on streaming.
So 14 of them. But yes, Fox is going to have a first ever triple header. That Munich game, the noon game, and a 3 o'clock game. The Giants and Cowboys, I'm actually looking forward to is that pass rush of what the Giants have been doing.
Yeah.
Last year getting, with Arvell Reese this year, Abdul Carter last year, still Burns there. And Thibodeau's still there. Cam Scadaboo.
Should be a
Blake
good
Neighbors.
defensive line.
There's some talent in that game. It's a rivalry, so I'm okay with that game.
Next up on What's Trending, the Knicks complete the sweep of the 76ers, win it 4-0. The Spurs and Timberwolves are knotted up at 2, but Wembanyama will miss no additional games and suffer no fine for his elbow to the throat in the game last night. And then 2 more games on the NBA side tonight. Detroit and Cleveland. The Pistons hold a 2-1 series advantage. They're at 7, and then the Oklahoma City Thunder and Lakers. The late game, currently it hasn't been a series at all, Drew. The Thunder are up 3-0 as they try to close out.
And no Luka tonight,
Los
so
Angeles.
very likely is going to be a sweep in that one as well.
Are the Knicks going to go to the finals? Because
they're the best team in the East right now. I mean, it's kind of inarguable the way they're playing. But.
They definitely look the best. The Pistons are technically the 1 seed.
2-1 lead over Cleveland, but then all of a sudden the Knicks, and then the Thunder will probably win it all. So.
I am really looking
but
forward
the Knicks are just
anybody
rolling.
but the Thunder, please. Sorry to the Thunder fans that are here in KC.
But they've been rolling.
Anybody but the Thunder.
They're just too
It's
good.
probably going to be the Thunder and Knicks.
They're just too good, man. Just too good, Bink.
In the NHL, of course, love watching NHL. The Hurricanes, by the way, not the Panthers.
You almost said it again.
I almost did because I got NFL in my brain. The Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah,
Even though it's May.
Not lost the game.
Schedule release week,
But the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Canadians go up 2-1 in their series. The Ducks even the series with the Golden Knights 2-2. One game tonight, which will be the Avalanche and the Wild. Colorado up 2-1 in this series so far. You an Avs fan?
Yeah, when I lived in Colorado, kind of adopted the Avs because in Indy there's no baseball team, there's no hockey team.
It would be probably who's going to win.
My dad's a big Avalanche fan. He loves the NHL. We spent a lot of time in Colorado. Remember, he's the Broncos fan as well, so not shocking, but that's at least part of it. So why not? Sure, go Avalanche tonight. As
it's not snowing in Denver anymore. Remember they got that May snow up there?
Yeah, I know. It looked weird on the baseball field. Lastly, on What's Trending, Missouri running back Ahmad Hardy was shot early Sunday morning at a concert. And he's currently in stable condition with no timeline to return to football play. They don't know much yet, and there has been no further details as far as I've seen released on the incident. But he was shot at a concert on Sunday morning, late Saturday night into Sunday morning. He is in stable condition, and then we'll just wait for more information. The Missouri star running back, obviously, in a very, very scary situation yesterday morning. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget, coming up at 2:30, Stephen A. Smith will join the drive today live at 2:30. I think he pointed out their 2 guests today are Stephen A. Smith and Denny Matthews, which he said maybe on the opposite end of the spectrum. Not totally opposite end, as in I think Stephen A. would need to be like in his 20s to be like totally opposite end. Stephen A. is still not like a young man,
Yeah.
He's like, how old is Stephen A.?
Oh, man.
Big, you got any idea?
If I had to guess, I'm going to guess 53. Let me see.
53?
58. Yeah, 58. All right.
Is he really?
I mean, that's younger than Denny, but it's
Shout out
not
to
like
Stephen A.
It's not like 25, But outside of that, slightly different personality types.
Yes,
I would say. So an interesting collection of guests coming up on the drive. Stephen A. at 2:30 over there with Carrington Harrison. So give that a
live
listen as well. Yep. Let's talk a little more Royals baseball before we wrap up the show today. Might be Bink back tomorrow. Might be Gold back tomorrow. We'll see how he's feeling after his surgery recovery continues. I'm sure he's bored to tears. Alex doesn't like sitting around. He's probably out of Netflix stuff to watch or books to read or whatever he's doing in his free time. He's also in pain, so that's probably not fun.
What's the schedule release with
Nap and pain
in the
pills.
day, so at least have something to keep up with.
Yeah. Yeah, if he misses till Thursday. Oh, you just mean the leagues?
Yeah, just enjoy the
maybe.
leagues, yeah.
I guess I was thinking about the outfield more as I saw this weekend. And inarguably, they're getting more production out of it this year. Like a level of production that had they gotten out of the outfield last year, they would be a playoff team. Jack Caglione, Isaac Collins, Lane Thomas, even just bare minimum, the amount they're getting on base and all of that is significantly better than people probably realize at this point. But the question I guess I have is, do I need them to get even more? Is this enough? Is it sustainable? Because sustainable, sure. They're getting on base and hitting some home runs, but not that many. So, like, the sustainable part would be, can Kyle Isbell still keep up a 330 on base percentage? Can Jack Caglione keep up a 320 on base and a 250 average? Yeah, probably. With the amount of power he's going, yeah, I don't see any reason why that would have to change. So, like, the production, the sustainability, Bink, doesn't actually concern me. What concerns me is based on how this season has started, and that Salvi isn't catching as much, and that Reagans is out for a little bit, and that the bullpen isn't as deep. that what I didn't need is the level of outfield production I would have taken last year, but I might need more out of them. I think the outfield needs to have more power production. I think Lane Thomas and Jack Caglione have to put the ball out of the park and get more RBI a little more often.
You miss Yaz?
He had 9 homers in 50 games last year, I learned. That's surprising to me.
Yeah, it was a nice little addition.
I guess, is it unfair to say I want more of the outfield? It's way better than it was last year.
No, it's totally fair. We just thought the power and stuff would come earlier. To be honest with you, I figured the Royals would be more like the White Sox with the power stroke this year. Because the White Sox had 19 home runs last year at this time. They have 51 now. It's completely changed from what they have. So I guess I expected more for them. We sat here before the season, remember? We sat here and talked about how many guys could hit 20 home runs, how many guys are going to hit 30.
Well, it's funny. They're a
Seems
quarter of
like
the way through the
forever
season.
ago we talked about that.
They're 41 games through the season, Bink. So they're almost exactly – there is no exact quarter pole because 162 doesn't divide by 4 evenly. But 40 and a half games, so between 40 and 41, 41 is what they wrapped up on Sunday, we're at the quarter pole for the Major League Baseball season. They have 3 guys with 5 home runs and 1 with 6 and 1 with 4. That's 5 guys on pace for 20 home runs, essentially. Jack's pacing a hair below it. Everyone else is pacing right at it. So, the number of 20 home run guys is not surprising. The question is, can you get higher than that? And I guess a lot of this is, I think Kaggs' numbers, I think Lane Thomas's numbers, I think Isaac Collins' numbers. I think everyone is playing at the level that I would anticipate.
Kaggs is going to be ridiculous.
And so the outfield plan is working. I do still wonder that. Is there an untapped, we haven't seen from Kaggs yet, is the kind of 3-week run Bobby's in. Vinny's since May 1st. The Carter Jensen's run earlier this year. I have yet to see a Jack Caglione run, which happens for most great baseball players, where for 2 weeks, you can't get the guy out.
You'll probably get that.
For 2 weeks, they're unstoppable.
Like
right
a Kyle
now,
Isbell run?
Right now he has been.
Kyle's been great.
Yeah, right now he's been a really good player, but I don't know if he's been an unstoppable force. Right? He's been better than Vinny Pasquantino since probably May 1st, I would guess, and Vinny's hitting 310 since May 1st.
You mean from the standpoint, Cody, of he's showing he's showing what he can do. Not from the standpoint of
they don't have to do it for a whole season, but just great players have a stretch, Drew, when they just murder the ball for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because
nothing to be done.
Because I think he's shown the capability of getting better and improving. But you mean he hits 8 home runs over a 20-game stretch,
Yeah.
or he said he hits 8 home runs in 15 games, where it's okay,
or 8 home runs in a month, right? It doesn't even have to be that. Just
where he gets hot, yeah,
he gets white hot. This month has actually technically been worse than April and March so far. He's hitting 235 with a slightly lower on base percentage. So it hasn't been as good as I thought, I guess. Vinny's certainly been better during that time. But it's also just I just want to, but he's been consistent. He's been a good baseball player, which is certainly something we would have all signed up for at any particular point based on what they had gotten. My question, Drew, is what we were talking about, which is there a stretch of time for Jack Caglione that for 20 days he hits 400? He hits 350 with a 410 on base percentage.
Yeah, he at least he's driving in runs. He's showing he's showing peak.
Yes,
Kaggs, what that looks like.
In my opinion, every great baseball player does that. Right now, you know what he's doing? He's just getting a hit a night. He actually has a 4-game hitting streak. He has 1 hit per night. He went 1 for 5, 1 for 4, 1 for 3, 1 for 4. He has no RBI in any of those hits, no home runs in any of those hits. He does have a pair of doubles, so I don't want to pretend like there's no power. But he started the month with, looked like maybe that was going to happen. He had 4 hits in 3 days, and 2 of them were homers, and he had ribbies in each of those. It's like he, at some point, for the Royals to be their best in the outfield, Bink, has to produce runs. And some of this is the fault of Salvador Perez and Vinny, who weren't getting on base in front of him for a while. And some of it is when he's had his slim opportunities to get guys home, he hasn't done it. I do hate their lineups in which Lane Thomas or Isaac Collins hit cleanup, though. Which they seem to do when Salvador Perez is out, but I don't like those.
Yeah, frustrating when you see Lane Thomas there. It's kind of like, what are we doing?
Fine if he's hitting 7th.
Oh, and by the way, our man Matt Yaz, 38 games, 0 home runs for the Red Sox. Or not the Red Sox, but the Braves.
Is he that bad? Great. They don't really need another random outfielder right now. They might need another starter some point along the way. They might need some other changes outside of that, but They don't need another random outfielder
The
right
bad
now,
thing
right?
is,
They're getting production.
as good as Isbell's been. Like the production you're getting from Kyle is exactly what you want.
I don't even know if it. I don't think this will. Obviously, we're not going to see this for a little while now. But do you think? How much do you think at all the change to the position? I know it's been over a year with the whole change to the outfield and all this other stuff, but
He looks comfortable out there.
But not and not that that's affecting the batting sort of thing, but the standpoint of just he's had to get acclimated to the change, and not that it's no different, but I wonder if it would just feel like normal, like if he played first base, like if he was playing first base, and let's say Vinny was a different position. But if Cags was playing first base, it would just feel like normal, like it was at Florida when he was doing his thing. And again, that would be more of a personal, stylistic sort of feel than it would be anything else. But I wonder if it, what is it going to take for him to, not necessarily figure it out, but for him to produce what we think he can do, which we still are. He's better.
More time.
He's been good.
But he's not peak yet.
Yeah, but it's not what we were fed from Cags. It's not seeing what he did at Florida where, not that he's not feared at the plate, but that man would get up to the plate and say, okay, this guy could go yard with any pitch in any arsenal, and he's that level of dangerous.
He's a tremendous athlete. What was when he was a pitcher? What was his velocity?
Low 90s.
Yeah, low 90s.
He was crazy. It was ridiculous.
He walked a few too many guys, but it would be fun to watch him pitch again. I will say, I would enjoy that. But it's still like so many of the numbers. So like Drew, the reason why I still think like one day it's just going to happen is
that what it looks like though, or is it a buildup? I think it's kind of what I'm like. Is it going to be one of those where he has a game where he goes 4 for 5 with 2 homers and 5 RBIs, and it's like, okay, this is the game.
He is. So I'll just give you some percentiles. He is 93rd in baseball in exit velocity, 90th percentile in barrel percentage, 93rd percentile in hard hit
This is right
rate.
now.
Right now.
This is this season.
96th percentile in bat speed.
It's insane.
But he still strikes out. He swings and misses a lot. 18th percentile. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Chase rate, 36th percentile. That's quite a bit improved from last year, I will say. And 14th percentile for strikeout rate.
Not where you'd like him to be, but...
So he strikes out too much. He swings and misses too much. His chase rate is much better than it has been, at least in that
But when he gets contact,
stage.
he's hitting the ball hard. It's just not...
Somebody says Cags sat upper 90s. I'd have to look back through. I didn't think he was quite that high, but maybe. I mean, I've seen him throw from right field. He throws the ball hard as hell.
I know.
So that's possible. But Drew, like, for him, it's like when he makes... His problem is he can miss this much, in my opinion. He can chase the amount he's chasing. It's a little high, but I can live with it. He can strike out even the amount he's striking out. The key is when he hits it, it needs to be in the air. It really is that simple.
Because he has, like you just gave the analytics.
Ball's got to go up.
Yeah, he has the power where him hitting a ground ball is a really, really hard ground ball, but it's the trajectory of it, where if he gets it up, he's going, it's not like he's Carlos Estevez at the play where he's just not hitting. The analytics aren't.
Yeah.
The bat speed's not the same as what we thought it was.
This
he's
is
hitting the ball hard. It's just not up.
And this is why the right field stuff matters too. Do you know what his arm strength ranks percentile wise, Mink? 100th.
100.
He's got the strongest arm in the league.
Speaking of his arm, so this is back his scouting report. What is there? Frequently sat in the mid to upper 90s, hitting 97 to 99 during his sophomore
I was underselling
even better. Yeah,
he was sitting 99.
I was like 92, 93.
Yeah, he was. He's got a lead arm.
Are we sure they need a bullpen help? We sure we don't just want to pitch in
He's
one
got
inning?
a lead arm.
That's what I said 2 weeks ago.
Pumping
I know
100?
it's a no, but
I know it's a
no.
no.
But
It'd be fun.
that's why I said 2 weeks ago.
Ohtani type player for at least a reliever.